Draft Dr. Phil and the smartest man.
Keeping it 100.
Keep it 100.
So chase greatness and start understanding that he's going to make everybody better.
Tape never lies.
I don't want to see your tape breakdowns if you cannot show me things that are negative about a guy that's on your current team.
Hashtag chase greatness. Hashtag take that.
Keep it 100.
Because I'll make this one more time clear. Caden Whitlow, cut it.
Keeping it 100.
He is the best quarterback I have ever scouted on tape.
The Chicago Bears select.
Guess who's back? The two dudes that kept it real. Dynamic duo that you love, the smartest man in Dr. Phil. Breaking down the film, never a problem, kick it straight. Most shows focus on stats, we focus on the tape. We keep it in 100, never running east to west. We coming with that truth, cause that's what our fans expect. Cut off the fake and anchor, moving forward to be free. But don't you worry, Shane's got the dumbest tweets. It ain't no secret, Phil and Shane got some haters. But now they're moused up like the true and now and latest. Debaters, straws get kicked like Coach Tabor. Cuts had to be made, we added a barber moderator. Up and down, boys got you double checking. Sad sacks strolling like a fool drunk texting. Flexing on the truth cause you know they'll never change. Real, recognize real, that's what you get with Phil and Shane.
Give me some fucking names in 2 fucking games.
Fuck a play or a captain, all of the up there. The tape never lies, the truth you see. We laugh, we analyze, so there's no babies like Maybelline. Straight to the truth with acumen and facts. We got a stat nerd, but he's not just giving nerd stats. Car crash, big impact like trip stat. Every Wednesday night you got the smartest man Phil back. Now we know you're smiling like a fat kid with fun dip. We're back better than ever and we keeping it 100.
Keep it 100.
Draft Dr. Phil and the smartest
Keeping it
man.
100.
Keeping it 100.
Keeping it 100.
Draft Dr. Phil and the smartest man.
Keeping it 100.
Keeping it 100.
Down there. I don't know if that right foot actually touched the ground.
Keep it 100.
Keeping it 100.
Yeah, exactly.
Yo, what is good, TTNL family? It's your girl Cherie, aka Lady Bear.
I love all.
Thanks. Guess what though? It's Grown Man's Christmas Eve. That's right. We are one wake up away from a grown man's Christmas. And we got Mr. Carstradamus coming on to just let us know exactly what's going to happen tomorrow and the next 2 days. So without further ado, I'm going to bring the guys you really came in here to see. Mr. Smartest Man, Shane Marshall.
Uh-oh. Where'd I go?
I don't know. What's going on?
Phil's having fun in the back. He's hitting buttons. There we are.
I'm not doing nothing. I got no glasses.
I thought you were partying in the back room. Did you see the text message that I just sent you?
No.
Watch this smile on his face, Cherie.
Tomorrow I'm gonna party like it's... Yes. Daniel Jeremiah.
Yeah, he
mocking Phil's
released-
number one offensive tackle
He just released
and
his
number one quarterback.
final mock on what he is hearing. And at number 9, Daniel Jeremiah has the Bears selecting offensive tackle Penn State Olu Fashanu.
Fashanu. It flows.
You say Fashanu, I say Fashanu.
What do you say?
Fashanu.
I was just trying to
Fashanu.
Yeah. It's all
It
good.
sounds like the poor righteous teacher. Afashanu. What? We got a Afashanu. Oh man, tonight. Shanu.
One day away.
Holy cow, it feels like it's been a freaking Boston Marathon. The first pick.
But you know what?
with the first pick.
We're that fast Kenyan running across the motherfucking finish line.
Hell,
The best
motherfucking
quarterback, right, Cherie?
That's right. We get in the hall.
That's right.
the hall of fame one day, maybe. As I said, as you see in the open, the best quarterback I've ever scouted. I put my name to it, and that's months ago. Not like, look at all these roaches surrounding us every day, Cherie. You know you see them. They try to get away from all their hot takes like an old man in his front yard.
Hey, there you go. Yep, I like it.
I knew he would like that. The roaches. The roaches. Oh my God. Tonight I'm fired up. I'm such a good mood. Tomorrow, telework, get ready for the freaking what we've been waiting for the longest. And TTNL had it first again, Shane. Again. Darnell Wright, Caleb Williams. He will be Chicago Bear. Can you even bet on that right now?
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure the odds are.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like, what would you win? Like, if you put 10 on it or put 5 on it, what would you get? Nothing. You have to put like 1,400 to win $10 or something.
Yeah, you'd owe them money.
How do I make the bet that Ryan Cox made? Ryan Cox, can you put $25 on the bet that you made for me?
He already made it.
I know he made it, but can he put it again? And I will Venmo him or PayPal him.
Download FanDuel.
I've never bet. I don't
But
know
you're
how to
trying
do-
to bet. Just download the app.
You just download the app and like boom, and that's it. You connect the payment to it, and bing bang boom.
Bing bang boom. You would bet 20,000 to win 100.
That's the odd. That's what they're saying the odds are right now.
That's like the Bears
Larison's on it.
with their fucking stadium.
Oh my God.
We gotta wait for cars. I want to get Larison on tonight if he will come on and talk
that
business of that stadium.
Did you see that, Cherie?
What the
Kevin Warren?
Did you
I
like?
didn't see the presser, but I saw like the video of the stadium.
Oh yeah, well they opened the presser with a preacher preaching and praying for a Super Bowl. It was
son of a preacher, man.
it was a little different. I'll just say that. I wasn't I'm not trying to make any political or religious statement here, but we could have done without all that. Thought it was a little bit crazy.
A little crazy.
A little cray.
Little cray. I got my background's all messed up. What's going on here? Everything's
Daniel
going.
Jeremiah has JJ McCarthy being drafted number 11 to the Minnesota Vikings.
We're gonna talk about the stadium stuff tonight as well. And we want to get you what your thoughts on it. I was trying to listen to Waddle and Sylvie interview Kevin Warren.
Yeah, I heard it.
You listened to the whole thing?
Yeah. Let's
So-
build a new stadium and have it be 65,000 capacity, putting us right in 27th in the NFL. I mean, because that makes fucking sense. Chicago,
Oh my God. I thought this
Even
shit-
Kevin Warren said that they might be able to push it to 70,000. Cars had a thing. I think it.
Did they push back on this?
I think even at 70,000, it puts them like right squarely in the middle of the NFL capacity wise. This is Chicago.
It should start at 80,000.
Crazy.
That's where you should be pushing.
Yeah, I don't get it. I mean, we'll see. They haven't settled it. They're actually looking at potentially putting grass inside of a dome. I don't know how the fuck that's going to work for them in Chicago.
Is that what he said with Waddle and Sylvie?
Yeah.
Because someone leaked that it was going to be a turf. That was the
Well, I think that's the moment. It's not like you're in Arizona where you can just roll that bitch outside and
they just roll it out into the lake,
yeah, the frozen.
floated across or skated across the lake.
Yeah, and it's
Put the heaters on it, Sheree.
it's nothing is finalized.
Listen,
There's a ton of red tape.
Isn't it legal in Illinois? Just put the grow lights on there.
Yeah,
As Guy Rosenberg say, put those grow lights out there.
Rosenbarker, that's my brother-in-law.
Guy is right. Is he a good brother-in-law or a shitty one on a scale of 1 to 10?
Well, he's got his football tape. He's the Buffalo Bills guy.
Okay.
I call him Willie.
At least he's not an Eagles fan.
No, fuck the Eagles. That's the other brother-in-law. And I guarantee you, Willie Guy is laughing his ass off right now as I said that because he knows exactly what I'm talking about.
You could, Sheree, think about it. They want to do the World Cup. They want to do concerts. They want to do whatever. And I'm watching this, and
do you want me to bring up the video?
The screenshots. I go, why the fuck is there baseball fields in these screen? It should be all
two in the city already.
All football fields out there. Maybe a fucking, what is that, frisbee golf area for these fucking, the blog boys need somewhere to play.
Who's the miner in our green room, by the way?
Wait, don't call him out. He's helping out here.
I know. I'm just saying.
We will bring him on. I don't know if he's ready. I owe him a big shout out. He's been fucking hustling for TTNL.
Why is he wearing a Drake May jersey? I'm trying to figure that out, though. What the fuck?
Don't do that. He's wearing a George Kittle, Iowa jersey.
There you go.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah, Mark.
Yes, man, Mark, I agree. I was disappointed. I guess we wait for Lord Cars anyway. We might as well talk about this.
Yeah, he's running a little. He's playing dad. His wife.
Of course he is.
Called into work, and he's finishing up. But yeah, he will be here.
Listen, why isn't it? Been spending most our lives building up this bear paradise over there in Arlington Heights. That's what it should be.
So is that still in play? Because I really haven't been following the stadium stuff. So
nothing has been fine. It seems like I don't know. According to people that Phil and I have talked to, that this is so far from a reality. When you get into the politics and today I just thought it was a circus. You had the mayor out there talking about this being the biggest thing, since ever, until his re-election camp. It was very odd, I thought, and not what it should have been. And people are questioning the timing, and I said the timing is actually pretty easy. You're obviously pissing off all of the taxpayers in Cook County because they said no new taxes, but their current taxes are going to skyrocket, obviously. But why do they do this today? Because everybody's going to be partying like it's 2024 tomorrow night because of Caleb Williams and the number 9 overall pick. And nobody's worrying about their taxes going up, and nobody's worrying about anything else. So this is going to be forgotten.
Oh my God, the goosebumps you get when you see he takes you out of the negative zone. He gets you into the positive zone. That's where we need to
but
be.
that's they're very aware of that. They know.
What is the fucking timing of this presser
That's why.
It's so fucking
Because Phil, we're not.
scripted, like the
Nobody is going to
worst
be talking
politics.
about. Nobody is going to be talking about the stadium tomorrow. Nobody is going to be talking about their taxes in Cook County going up tomorrow. It's all going to be focused on Caleb Williams and whatever they do in number 9. That's going to be topic 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You're going to have to get down to topic 48 before you start talking about this for the next few weeks.
There's so many parody songs in my head about the Bears. And all I think is Paula Abdul, Cherie.
But do we want to
song I'm thinking of?
Do we want to share the renderings video for people that haven't seen it?
What's the renderings? Oh yeah.
Yeah, let me throw
the
this
stadium. Now, I have some issues here with the fucking baseball fields. Like, no. Baseball has its own fucking whole areas of shit. You're Soldier Field. You that dumb? Bears?
Like, I mean, that's literally the least of my worries. I mean, that
it started there for me.
That doesn't bother me at all. I just don't. I think it's very. Listen, the entire point of this is to own your own place. We've been down this road before.
Right. Why are you being a tenant again?
You want to build this thing on a small footprint. When I was on with Ivan on another Bears show earlier today, said it's like being an artist and somebody gives you a blank canvas and says create whatever you want. That's an artist. That's their dream. A blank canvas to create something beautiful. The Bears are saying we're going to create something beautiful, but 75% of our canvas has already been painted by somebody. So we have this little piece over here. We're going to make it so great. Now, granted, you're not going to be able to park anywhere. Your taxes are going to go up through the roof. But you know what? It's going to be real cool. But yeah, let's play this, and everybody can see it if they haven't seen it.
And we could talk about it. This is like an actual built-in, a visionary city, a legendary home team, built on the shoulders of giants. Have an opportunity to reimagine and remember it for significance together.
Just real quick, I just want to address this. They actually did not say that at all. They said there will be no new taxes.
So did George Bush.
No new taxes. They did not say that.
Read my lips.
They did not.
No new taxes.
You explain to me how the
taxes went up.
Taxpayers are going to be on the hook for $2.5 billion and your taxes aren't going to go up. Come on. They said no new taxes. That means it's like being a lawyer. It's a play on words. We're not going to create new taxes for you. The taxes that you're currently paying, those motherfuckers are going to skyrocket. 100%.
What?
Yeah.
So they're destroying the old field, planting grass. They're going to keep the pillars up for an even better Chicago. For the world of Chicago. So they build a whole little island off the front. See it? A world-class destination for a world-class city. There we are in those picnic chairs, Spain. What the fuck is this? Right there. I'm like, what? Softball. Shut the fuck up. Softball. Might as well put a soccer field there too. Oh my. There's two baseball fields. There's the football field. Got an ice rink for Cherie on her dates. Super Bowl. FIFA. Taylor Swift's concerts. 360-degree panoramic views. Chicagoland. Feel the roar, Cherie.
And supposedly on the top of the stadium, the way
Can
that
you
it's
walk
shaped, it's
across?
the Chicago Bears C.
Oh, is
on
it?
the top of the stadium, and it'll be outlined in orange, neon orange, Ron on the C.
Neon,
Yeah.
Ronnie G.
What?
Neon, Ronnie G.
What?
And if you notice up in the upper left-hand corner of that entire video, it says
It's Manica.
Well, it says renderings, and pretty much everything is subject to change. So what you saw doesn't mean really
Diddly.
anything. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
There's hope, guys. There's hope.
I hope there's hope, Cherie. It should have been the Bears. Ichimaru son. Ichimaru son is right. Like, aren't we changing to the Bears head?
Well, that's in there. I mean, they're
Like
not changing.
our flag football team. We have the C on our chests. Like,
like they have it on their helmet. That's not changing.
no, I
but
get that,
in
but I
terms
figured
of,
the
like, on
kids would get a
Madden,
bear.
Like on Madden, it's not the Chicago Bears C anymore.
Right. On the
it's bear
score,
logo.
on the
Yeah.
Daniel Jeremiah's mock, they put the bear head.
Yep.
So I told the kids, I go, I think this year we're going to have the bear head on our jerseys for flag. They were all excited. And then we open them, it's the C.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, sorry, you guys. But I thought they were doing that. But to his point, I thought,
I don't know what we're supposed to do. I mean, if we disagree with that, let's just fuck it. It's the best fucking stadium I've ever seen in my life, and they're gonna win 12 Super Bowls there. I mean, we can get up here and lie, or we can tell you our thoughts on it.
Kenny, you're not really tuning in to Kumbaya, what transpired today. I saw, and I'm not a
It was
big,
embarrassing.
I'm not a big fan of Lawrence Holmes, and he had
fucking hit it out of the park. Yeah,
he hated what they did with the preacher. Someone sent me that video. I was at the gym today and watching Lawrence Holmes talk about.
I just don't know why you have to. Why are you starting off a stadium presser with that? It's just that, to me, that's weird. Like I said, fuck it. Let's.
Does someone out there, like, literally, I don't go to church. I believe in God and spirit.
Kenny,
I'm all about that.
You're I don't know, man. You're lost. There's
Maybe
kids can do things everywhere, man. That's what I'm saying. It's, if you think that this is Kevin Warren being concerned about where kids are playing, then I don't know what to tell you, man. That's not what any of this is about. I mean,
I don't have an issue with the design of the stadium.
I don't have any. Listen, I
don't like the 65,000. That's dumb.
Well, the issue for me is you have 325 acres where you can do whatever you want. You can do 10,000 times more things for kids that Kenny's talking about. But that's how it. Jeff is right, though. But that's good. That's exactly how it came off.
It did come off like some political. It came off like the Iowa caucuses. Like, we're gonna go out here. I don't know where the.
I'll be honest with y'all. I'm not gonna lie. I am confused. Like, even with Phil saying put more football stadiums out. Like, why is there a football stadium outside of a football stadium? If I'm just, I mean, well, I don't know. Maybe I'm missing the point of trying to do this whole sports complex, but
he said that there's high schools in the city limits that don't have
a
fields where
football
they can
stadium.
play.
But
And
in the
this weekend-
rendering, there's 2 baseball stadiums.
Right.
So here, for example,
Well,
Sheree,
as
you've
I
been to
said, those
Giant.
things are subject to change. He
You've been
also
to
he also brought up being able to ice skate in the wintertime. So
That's fine. That's like a
That's what
cool.
people were trying- I mean, I guess people do that on the lake.
That's
and
a
shit.
cool little thing that you can have Christmas there and go there and have and then NBC Sports, and I got to hear Chris Collins where as they zoom through the ice capades. You gotta love this city, but that's fine. What I don't like, obviously, is it's football. It's the Bears. Everything leading up to that should be here's 25 flag football areas. Here's a high school area to play football. And here's, area to play ultimate frisbee. You don't put more baseball fields near your fucking football stadium. So you go to New England here, right? And they have football everywhere. They got a casino. They got all these shopping malls connected to it, all these stores. They got a Starbucks giant thing. They got everything,
Like
right?
Keys guy, I understand. Listen, I don't have any problem with the fields and the things that they're doing with the kids. That's fine. It's hokey as fuck when you start off a presser about a multi-billion-dollar stadium and you're going to be taking money from your taxpayers, most of whom are already struggling, and you have a preacher up there preaching and praying for a Super Bowl. It's just, to me, it's you're way the fuck over your skis. If that's, this is what we should. Why? Is there any other franchise anywhere that had
in a crazy world, one franchise
preaching
had
to
a
the
preacher
masses, praying for a Super Bowl? We need your money. We need your money. The NFL is a fucking financial, they're printing money.
Irish. Listen, I'm not a religious person. I don't judge anybody. I love everybody, if that's your thing. But I agree. It was odd. I didn't even see it because I started it late. Shane's like, did you see George talk? I go, George talked? Yeah,
Not
bro.
long.
And they had a preacher begin a sermon. I go, what? I didn't even believe it. So then I rewound it all the way back, and it's like, the Bears, we're going live. They give you a notification they're going live. 40 minutes you sit there until they go live.
And by the way, we still
they were doing
owe
a slideshow.
We owe more money now on the stadium that we renovated 20 some odd years ago. We owe more money now on that than we do than when they built it. And they want to refinance that and push it 40 years.
$600 million
Called interest.
You're the Bears. Pay off the debt. You're getting plenty of money coming in. Another Ted Phillips thing. This guy, how much do they have? Take your $2 billion that you want to put towards the stadium, pay off the debt first. Pay off the debt. I don't understand what they're doing. It's just,
well, I think we got the right guy here to talk.
He can break this down. Yes. Yeah. This guy.
Yes. Not that
he's
guy.
Wearing a Phil hat or a Purdue hat. I don't know what he's bringing, but I'm just looking forward.
He's that piece for preacher. He's going to preach to us when he.
Before he comes, does anybody? Do we have an intro for him?
Right,
Nerd alert!
and there
he is.
Hello, my children. Let us bow our heads in prayer as we pray that this stupidity and ridiculousness of this stadium build is over quickly.
Well, Cars, so we were Phil and I have been taking some blowback. Phil was concerned
No,
about
not you guys.
Yeah, Phil didn't like
I don't like the
renderings
baseball
part when
field.
they put the baseball fields and that isn't my thing. I didn't like from the start with having the preacher out there going on and doing his thing and praying for a Super Bowl. Keys guy said that I should be more informed about the city because that's their culture and that's what it is. You're there. I mean,
That's
speak
the
on it.
first-
What were your thoughts?
To open with a prayer when they've never done it before is just really odd. But I think that's the new Warren impact. It seems to be a very kind of religious individual as well as some of them.
Well, the McCaskies are very religious too.
Oh yeah, I mean, again, remember they didn't want to fire Dick Duran because he went to church with Virginia every Sunday.
Exactly.
You know, and when they put the baseball stadium there, don't read into that. That's just a, hey, Jerry, if you want to stick around, there's space. But Chicago Sox fans like myself are voting with their butts and not putting their butt in a single seat at that game. So it sounds good and it's got a lot of hurdles. I don't put any faith in it until a shovel hits the ground, is basically that, because they may want to do this, but if you're going to have to raise taxes, if you're going to have to do this, like, I'm super glad I don't live in Cook County because it's already taxed out of their mind. To do this again while refinancing in the bad debt from the worst stadium deal ever known to man that happened the first time.
Ted
I just
Phillips.
really feel like, Ted Phillips.
Yeah, just 20 years ago. By the way.
And well, what did they finance? Something like 300 million, and now the debt is $1 billion. It's something ridiculous like that. Because
600 didn't they say was it 650 million?
Yeah.
Why don't they just pay off that money with their fucking parking ticket that they charge to park?
Well, they can't because they've underfunded the teacher pension for years, and that the criminal.
No, I was talking about the Bears. They owe the money.
They don't really get the parking. That most of that goes to the park district itself. Like, that's
really, there is no negotiated split on that.
There may be slight, but it's not a ton. Again,
they need to open their fucking books and let people see what you're doing if you want public funded stadiums. I thought we were all away from that. Like, that's what I thought.
Private
this was.
Organization, it doesn't have to be, and none of them really do. That's what you run into. If you're publicly traded, your books have to be open. If you're a mom and pop thing and you're not publicly traded, it's not a thing. I just really it sounds great. I mean, let's be real. It looked great, at least from the pictures, although the seating needed to go up about another 5,000. But I don't. This is where Warren wants to be. It's very clear that this is Warren wants to be on the lakefront. He wants it in Chicago, but politically, it's not going to be that clean. If they want to dig in 2025,
and he said 2025.
I doubt it.
Yeah,
I mean, Arlington's not dead, but it's back. You know, it's close to dead, but this thing could flip at any moment. So it's great. It's fine, whatever, if they do it, but it still doesn't feel real. Like, this is kind of like when you're a kid and you hang a poster of your celebrity crush on a wall. Like, I'm going to date that person at some point in time. Yeah. Like, no, you could want it all you want, but other factors have to come in.
Vaughn, honestly, I don't know if crying. I just think when you're bringing out the Lamborghini, right, and you're showing everyone, you don't surround it by a bunch of Fiats. You fucking have more Lamborghinis there.
Well, you
This
can
is
have
a
all these
football
fields.
stadium. It
Yeah.
looked dumb having baseball fields in your.
I just
your
think
thing.
I'm not offended. They're pissed about
That's
that at
my
all.
thing. That's
I
my
just
I'll take
right. I
ownership.
just
I was like,
think
what is this?
I think they're just showing it as an area. It's going to be an area for everybody.
Focus around the stadium. The other things are renditions of the things that are possible with the land. That's all it is showing you. What you're probably going to see is more public parks and things like that are going to be outdoor spaces.
They're
where,
going to
they're-
have to appease the pigeon people and make a nice sanctuary with a statue for them. So you're right, Cars. To kind of think that this is a shovel's gonna be done in
Well, they did a
25.
round table with a bunch of Bears beat reporters on Waddle and Sylvie, and every one of them, they had them pick a date of when the Bears would be in their new stadium.
Yeah,
and I think the earliest somebody said 2029. I heard a 2030. I heard a 2031 from one of them.
2031.
But this is the Car's point because of the political, all the red tape and everything that you got. You're gonna have to.
Don't you have to deal with all these aldermans? I don't even know what they are, but they have a bunch of power in Chicago.
Well, it's like everywhere, right? Every city, instead of representatives, they have aldermen that are responsible for specific districts and things like that. Kevin's got a good point though, like the refinancing. There's so many things that you have to do. Like you're gonna go build a new stadium when you're not finished paying for the old stadium. You're going to have to figure this out. But the red tape is going to be things along the lines of, where are the taxes going to come from? Most likely this is going to be another hotel related tax that's going to come. There's probably going to be a new zoning and commercial real estate tax. And for those of us that live anywhere near the city, or if you work in the city, you know that all these buildings are empty. So this is going to be another push for people to go back to work in an office so that the real estate around sticks around and regains some of its value. This is, if it gets done before, like I think they were saying they wanted it dug in 2025 and
36 months.
2028 is when they would want to play. I would be shocked if it's 2029 seems an aggressive possibility, but 2030 probably seems like the most realistic, because you've got to get through aldermen, you've got to grease some palms, you're going to have to pay off the teachers union, you're going to have to talk to all the pensions and things that you're going to rob from, to borrow from. It's going to create a cycle that just takes a long, I would still be really, really shocked.
All right, I'm done talking about the stadium. Fuck it. We've waited all off season for this draft to get here, and we're a few short hours away.
But I really felt like them dropping it the day before. Every fan is Bears fan,
but that's why, Phil,
so
because
sad.
Caleb Williams is going to be part of this marketing.
Hey, no one's going to give a shit after the draft tomorrow.
Right, exactly. That's what I said to Ivan. Nobody's going to be like, fuck my taxes. I live in Cook County. My taxes are going to be going up. Everybody's going to be partying in the streets tomorrow.
And David's got a good point. Yeah, that's correct. They'll issue these bonds that will... Chicago's bond rating is not going to be the greatest either. Financially, I just don't know how they make it work. But the whole reason they've done this is because most likely if they were going to have other investors come in, they were going to ask for part ownership or part of the team to give their money in. And the Bears do not want that.
What do they have, the Bears? I'm sorry. It's interesting to me that
they're paper billionaire.
Right, exactly. Where is the money? Like, how can they do it?
That's probably why the Arlington Heights thing has been pushed to the background.
It has to go to builders and contractors or people that are owners of that to get this done. They can't think that George and the family are going to pay this. And
it'd be the minority owned. Like the biggest thing would be that Tim Ryan, who's not as rich as he used to be, and the minority owners would have to put some more money in. But most likely, what they're saying is, that's fine. We'll put in more money. Now I need a larger percentage of the ownership if I'm going to do this. Like it was. How much did they buy Arlington for? Was it like
290?
290?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was essentially the thing that was funny to me was somebody asked Kevin Warren about a retractable roof, and he said, that's going to cost a couple of $100 million, and you're going to use it 3 to 4 times a year. And it was essentially the price of what Arlington Heights purchase was. Which even then, I mean,
I would never be pissed if they had a Final Four or basket. I don't care about that in the stadium. I get all that. I go to Giants Stadium and I see football everywhere. So they got little kids playing football. And there's football practice field for the Giants right there. So think about the Bears could go down. They can have a couple training camp practices for free. And the city of Chicago and all those people can go down there, watch they can probably take video too. Wouldn't that be special? Of watching their favorite football team live right outside their stadium in a practice field?
That was his follow-up, Phil, if you want to.
So why do you care if there's a softball field outside? Because you're surrounded. No one's going to Soldier Fields for fucking baseball. They go to Wrigley. They go there.
If you know the city, unfortunately, that's it. There are softball fields all over and all around.
That's
especially
my
on
point.
The lakeshore. So it's a
point.
thing.
They have them. They already
it would be more. It would be more, and that's the way you do the parks and all of these things. The one thing I want to address though, real quick.
Go ahead,
Mike. It's paper money. Like if you are a true billionaire, let's just use
how
Mark
is he
Cuban.
getting that number there? $7
Well,
billion. Based on what the worth of the Bears is,
the franchise, which is not
$7 billion.
4, I think.
Yeah.
But if you're Mark Cuban,
right there, Matt's got it right there.
If you are
exactly, Matt,
it's basically they're a billionaire if they take out a home equity line of credit on their Bears team. This isn't Mark Cuban, who is worth billions and can go to the bank and cut a check for $1 billion because he's got it. This is a team that's got to borrow from this, and because Virginia is so old, and because most of those kids want to sell because they don't want to have this team, they don't want a part of it, they just want the money. That's the sort of things that they can't do, and they can't leverage future profit because you have to put to sit down and say like future profit, you have to. This isn't like accounting class where you say we're going to make $1 million a game. You have to show through ticket sales, through all of this, if it's you got to figure out splits, all of these things, all of these numbers that they don't have. And so to go out and take a loan when it's like billion and kind of go up like this, nobody is going to give you
the big one.
money.
And if you notice in all of the renderings, it made me laugh when I saw it. I haven't heard anybody talking about it. It just says stadium. And that's all about that's all about naming rights, and that's going to be a
100%.
massive payday. I mean,
100%.
Who's
getting that
naming rights to the stadium cars? I mean, it's got to be.
It's going to be Google Stadium.
$700 million to $1 billion for naming rights.
The hard part, though, is what businesses are still here in Chicago to do it, right? Like United is on the on basketball. You don't really McDonald's headquarters. McDonald's is not in the money as much as they used to. So who's gonna, I don't know if you guys remember all those years ago.
Rags in the stands.
Yeah, he's
stadium.
I mean, if he's paying other people's parking tickets, that might work. But I don't know if you guys remember all those years ago when Arizona built the stadium, and the biggest investor for the stadium name was the fast food chain Pink Taco, but Arizona would not take it because they didn't want the Pink Taco Stadium.
I
But
would
like
love the Pink Taco.
Allstate just closed its
You're
campus.
In
Like,
good hands.
They just closed their campus and got rid of this massive state. Walgreens isn't doing that. Caterpillar has left. Boeing is moving out. There isn't anything other than that. The only hope right now is for
GameStop. Any shop?
GameStop, 1-800 Cars for Kids maybe would take the lead.
The other thing, we have the perfect guy, and Shane's muted, so nobody heard what he said. But
My bad. I was wondering why nobody laughed. Jesus Christ.
You're
No,
not
I said
that
that
funny.
Maisie just texted me and said she wants to name it Shit in Your Hat Stadium.
Oh yeah.
so does Coach O.
Yeah.
Roto Rooter Stadium.
Let's do it.
But
For those of us that grew up, we'll call it the Empire Carpet Stadium, and you can just put 588-2300 up.
We
at the
had
front.
that here in Connecticut too.
Perfect. We're doing it.
E300 Empire.
You guys want to talk about
Today.
the draft, or you want to get into the?
Well, he is the perfect guy to
No, I
answer. I have
know.
some questions about this shit. It's
Answer.
interesting.
He was more
So-
concerned about your health, by the way. Cars was. He saw
My
you-
health.
Yeah, he saw you get knocked the fuck out last night in fight night.
Oh, shut the fuck up. You win just by the quarterback. I give you the win. But, I've 2 years in a row I beat you.
I don't know about that. I can't remember what. I'll have to look up 2 years ago.
It's
You're
spicy
supposed
now.
to
I like
post
it.
them all. Is there
I have 'em
any
all.
parking in that? This is Will Mookie Hill.
Underground.
Good point. You got to get a limo, Will. You
Well, that's going to be the other thing
You
is
got to get a limo driver to drop you off.
You're gonna park on the softball field. Phil.
you gotta
All the park.
Yeah.
They got guys. Sorry,
Down by the Nancy, down by the third base line.
third base. Third base.
Phil,
Phil, you got to understand, softball is huge here. There's fucking 400 softball fields in Chicago area.
if they built
Not by this football stadium.
Phil, if they built 100 more softball stadiums, they would
Oh
get
my
filled.
God.
There is nothing more than overweight, middle-aged white men love more than to go play softball 7 nights a week.
And then drink beer afterwards.
During.
Yeah. Oh, hell yeah.
I'm not
Oh my
waiting.
God.
When am I supposed to drink a Pabst? The second inning, buddy. The second inning.
Pabst.
That's just how this happens.
Oh, Pabst. They have that beer still?
Oh God, PBR is everywhere.
Oh my
Absolutely.
God.
Oh man.
Oh my God. And then they have to like reroute streets, find parking. Is it going to be
Yes.
underground park? She did mention, and we're even thinking about making a double top. Double top? You're going to have to go triple, girl.
It's going to be insane. And that's the other reason I don't put too much faith in it yet. It's basically like, hey, let me draw you this picture. Look how pretty it is. And it's like, well, can we do it? But just look how pretty it is. Look how nice it's going to look. But is it feasible? But it's pretty. I don't think you
Listen.
understand. It's pretty. Can you do it? Oh, we have no idea. We'll figure that out.
I will say this, and then we can move on unless there's any other questions or whatever. But staying downtown Chicago and then just getting up in the morning, getting breakfast, and then walking across into the park when the fucking giant fountain's there and you're walking down by the lake or whatever path you're taking is an amazing experience. I know, bringing my sons who were 9 or 8 at the time, and they just loved it. Like, wow. And then all of a sudden this big stadium pops out, and that's where you're going to watch your favorite team. There's something to the lakefront and everything like that. There really is. So I get that. Some of the things that you're talking about, like, don't build a new stadium and do the same shit you did before. That's so Bears, right?
it's
Don't
still
go
not a-
65,000 seats. Go 75,000 seats and say, yeah, we're here, big dog. Because I tell you what, you're going to sell out. You're going to sell out.
It's more PSLs if you do. It's more
TTNL
money.
Stadium, the naming rights already belong here in Southington.
I mean, and to put it in a perspective, I don't know if you guys
Thank you,
mentioned this,
Shadow
but
Boy.
if the Bears stay at 65,000 people, now when Buffalo gets built, Buffalo is actually going to have less people. I think we talked to like Buffalo Stadium when they build it is going to decline to like 51,000 seats. It's insane.
What?
Yeah, their new outdoors, and it's outdoor. I don't understand, but it is what it is. Right now, the Bears have the worst seating capacity of everybody at 61,500. If they build 65, they tie for 27th with the Raiders and the Lions. They go up to 70, they move to basically 12th. They tie with the Rams and the Chargers most recent. At no point should you do anything less than 70. The top of the line is MetLife at 82. So if you're anywhere between 70 and 80, you've done it right.
Yeah, you can't go 65. Where are the Bears now, Cars? The
30th.
exact number.
61,500. They have the smallest seating capacity of everyone in the NFL because Jets and Giants share, Rams and Chargers share.
Jesus Christ. 61, and you're only going up 4,000. Come
Yep.
on.
And if I remember correct, now they've moved it up. So Buffalo will seat about 60,000 people.
Yeah, they're going less than.
Yeah, they're declining. So right now, I think
where would they be at 77,000?
77 would have them fourth.
So there you go. That should be your goal.
It's Giants, Jets the first, Packers second, Cowboys third. If you do 77, move just ahead of Arrowhead and Denver.
This is why I love this guy. Answers right there. What is Giants Stadium? I've been there many times.
82 and change.
And they have the best area for tailgating, so you could park everywhere. You can park with your friends. There's no fucking softball fields anywhere, guys. Sorry.
Lambeau actually
fucking
does
football.
have a good parking situation as well.
I've been there once, and I stayed at this hotel. I ate Chinese food across the street. It was the coldest.
You always think Chinese when you think Green Bay, Wisconsin. I don't know about
it. Was so cold. It was right across the street. And I was like, let's go there. Then we walked to the game the next day, and I saw people like here in Connecticut, or in our state, they have these fairs, and people will have parking in their driveway.
Yep.
Like $20 park here instead of the 40 at the fairground.
Yep.
So that's what it looked like there. It was crazy. There's this giant stadium in a neighborhood, in a town.
So,
but anyway. But they have how many at Lambeau? Real quick.
81,000.
81.
Yep.
80 motherfucking one. And the Bears, you should be competing with that. 77 is not good enough now. 81,777. Go for it.
So, real quick, Caleb Williams,
yes,
Chicago Bear tomorrow night, has offered up a suggestion to the Bears about who they should choose at number 9.
Do we have video of it?
No, it's a true.
It's a written.
Yep. So I know Cars knows. He saw the text. Phil, do you have any? He gave a player's name.
Come on, for real.
He knows, for real. And it's a player he knows very well.
So I'm gonna guess.
Yep.
He knows very well. Is this like in the first round or in the draft?
Number 9.
At
number 9.
He may have played high school.
Olu Fashanu?
Yep.
Yes.
Let's go. I'm telling you, Olu's the best tackle in this draft, Cars. My number 1 offensive tackle, left tackle in this draft. It's Steve Edwards' number 1 tackle and Olin Krutz number 1 tackle. Shane is with Joe Alt.
Yep.
Coach O likes Joe Alt, but Olu very close second. Where are you?
I'm Alt first,
You're Alt too.
and I actually have Fuaga above Olu, but not as a
Really?
left tackle. But yeah, I think Fuaga is going to be.
I love
as a right
Fuaga
tackle.
too. He's my number 2, and then I have Alt.
All right.
But they're all obviously number 1 picks. Like people are upset with my
Let's
wide
go
receiver.
down the conspiracy hole.
Wow, I can't believe he did that. What did he
how
say,
much-
real quick, Olu, before you ask?
You want the exact quote?
Yeah, I wanted the exact quote.
The exact quote
Williams offered a suggestion for whom the Bears should choose with the number 9 pick, Penn State offensive tackle Olu Fashanu, who not coincidentally, I guess he just gave the name. So
Okay, they asked him, and he just said Olu Fashanu.
yeah, he said
He's a fucking smart kid, man.
If I wasn't drafting with my head, I would take Joe Alt. Clearly, he's a better player. But I'm gonna
Don't write a script for the NFL, Shane.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Let's go down the conspiracy foxhole.
Yes.
We've heard them say that,
Someone
his
get
camp
the
is
video
told-
and text it to Shane, or I want
his
to see it.
camp has told Chicago that they have to, prove that they're going to do everything in their power to put, things around Caleb that they can win with. Do you think that this is any type of a factor at all?
No.
No, it's going to go by them.
I don't.
Oh, I agree.
He hasn't earned that right yet, but I
No.
think what they've shown, especially when you go out and get Keenan, is that's how you show him that you're going to do it. And I think I keep going back to the Bears don't get enough credit for that building of the offensive staff, like to go from Waldron and Kerry Joseph and Thomas Brown and Morton and Beatty, the new wide receiver coaches, and you've got kind of the passing game coordinator, running game coordinator. So you've built these tiers. You've added 2 additional offensive assistants that are both quarterback coaches and wide receiver coaches. You've done quite a lot here to surround him and kind of build this group. The other smoke, Shane, is, he had a practice the other day where he was throwing to DJ Moore, Keenan Allen, and who was the third guy?
Well, that was actually
Adunze, my number 1 wide receiver.
That's actually been picked apart a little bit. He has thrown to all 3, but it wasn't at the same practice.
That's fine. I mean, but the fact that they went on the same flight was an intentional thing.
Right.
The other thing is
he threw with. I don't think they want this out there
because Allen and
he
Moore
threw to Keenan Allen and DJ Moore at Hallis
with
Hall on his 30th
Adunze.
visit. Yeah. And he threw with Adunze out in LA.
Listen, I've never heard of like 2 players with a rookie, 2 rookies before. That's a first for me. Is it for you guys? And I've been doing the draft for a long time. I've never heard of a rookie quarterback throwing to a rookie receiver with 2 veteran receivers on the team that's selecting the rookie number 1 overall. I never.
I haven't even heard it if you just have the rookie wide receiver.
Exactly. I think there's smoke there, is what I'm saying, with Adunze. And to be with DJ Moore and Allen, that's almost like them going to dinner and sitting with those veterans so they can get to know them. This is Allen and Moore getting to know Adunze as well as the quarterback. Like, Shane, you talk about Shane Matthews. Right away, he knew Cade McNown was fucked.
First practice.
He's
like, we drafted this motherfucker in the first round. Can't play.
This is your GM doing something smart and saying, okay, you guys know this shit too. Get a feel about Odunze. Just run routes with him. Get a feel of the quarterback. And they report back to you and say, bro, this kid can fucking carry. He can. That is worth its weight in gold. It is. As for me, if I sent two guys that I know are pros to go and they come back and are like, bro, no way. Kid doesn't love the game. Off the list. I don't give a fuck what Mel Kiper, especially Dan Orlovsky, have to say about him. I worry about my guys. That's amazing. That's like the last box you check.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You've done all the film work. The film tells you everything. That's the resume. Then you meet them and then you get that. That's amazing that they did that.
Well, I think I would like to do a fun exercise right now. So we always talk about best fits. So if we looked at the top 10 and who we think is going where, who do we think is the worst fits outside of the Bears? So like Jaden Daniels to any quarterback to Washington to me is a bad fit because Washington's not ready. But like so Washington,
I
New
think
England.
if Washington takes Jaden Daniels, terrible. I think it's a terrible fit. But again, Shane and I, without talking, we rank our own. I haven't seen Carr's rankings, so I don't know where you have Jaden Daniels, but I have him ranked 5th best quarterback in this draft. Shane has him 5th.
I have Carr's rankings right here. We're not going to release them all, but we're going to release my
tomorrow?
top 5s, Phil's top 5s, Carr's top 5s, Ivan Vargas's top 5s, and maybe even Riley Marsaw's top 5s tomorrow.
He's not a part of this anymore. He got traded years ago.
Yeah, he did.
Sorry.
So Cars, do you mind if I give your top 5 QBs here?
No, go right ahead.
So number 1, he has
Drake May,
Tanner Mordecai. No, I'm kidding. Caleb Williams, Michael Penix Jr., JJ McCarthy, Jaden Daniels, and then Drake May.
Okay.
Ryan Cox is screaming on his couch right now to the Drake May discourse.
So I have Caleb Williams, 16 softball fields, then JJ McCarthy, Michael Penix, Drake May, and then Jaden Daniels.
You and I are
top
5 for 5.
We're the same.
Rankings. Yep.
All right. So me and you are the same. The exact same.
Yeah, and these are
ours is a little different than us, and that's fine. That's what we do this for. We don't talk about it. Hey, Cars, what do you think? This is the first time ever. I thought we were all going to be in unison with Mac Jones. And by the way, I just want to put a ribbon on that. And then I promise I won't talk about it until I have to talk about it again. But Zach Wilson went for a 6th this year. Mac Jones went for a 6th this year. Trey Lance went for a 4th this year. Justin Fields went for a 6th next year. That's equivalent of a 7th round pick
2024
this year.
Yep.
Guess what? The NFL has spoken about him, and that's the end of that. Zach Wilson's getting more in value on a trade market. Wow. You think I was telling you the truth about it? There's no manipulation here at TTNL. And that's why all of us, Cars, in your real, because I haven't talked to you about it, in your mind in regards to Caleb Williams, I've put my name to this. He's the best I've ever scouted. Just that's where
that was never said on these airwaves. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
Oh my fucking God. Who fucking lies like that? Just get rid of that dude, because that just made up bullshit. There is no hiding for Phil. Phil owns all his shit. Cars, you can even admit that I do that.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I don't hide my truth. So the reality is he's the best I've seen over Andrew Luck, Peyton Manning. For me, he's better than coming out of college. This is where we rank them. Wait a second. He's better than them in my assessment of them. And if the Bears were picking 16th, he would be the best I've ever scouted. That's how you have to analyze. Shane's 100% right. We have former guys on TTNL Network that can't be critical of guys on the team. Therefore, they don't work here or can't work here because you have to be analytical to the truth. You can't be biased. I love David Montgomery. What he did on the field was the truth for me. I showed it. If I show shitty, it wasn't because I didn't like the player. It's because that's what they did on the field. So where do you rank him, Cars, in your time of doing this? And I've known you a long time.
God, I mean, if you look at the last decade, yeah, he's the top one. I still think that, to me, I would have Andrew Luck higher.
Yeah, you got him over him.
There's nothing wrong, and there's nothing wrong.
There
with that at all.
isn't. That's what I'm saying. That's why I was curious.
I would have been interesting because I think one of the things that happens too much is Lincoln Riley got hit by the stupid stick a lot this last year. His play calling was garbage. The talent was garbage.
Right.
I really think that would have changed the narrative if they had a offensive lineman that was worth something this past year, or a wide receiver that was worth something. I mean, like Marshawn Lloyd, I'm a fan of, but that guy fumbled like crazy and turned the ball over. So, I mean, you kind of forced him into this hero ball, and now everyone's like, he can't play in structure. He can only play in hero ball. I would have, if he had more to work with in this last year, I think that would have been a different conversation. But it just,
No, I get it. But that forced a lot of the narrative that we saw.
It 100% did. Yeah.
And uneducated one, you could say you cracked some fucking code and you can try to backpedal like the roaches you are, but it ain't gonna happen. TTNL fans know you're frauds. All these guys that were bagging on this kid who's about to be him.
Here's the clip, Phil.
Thanks.
Say you are pick number one. Who do you want to see the Bears take at their second top 10 pick? If I was able to choose, and if I was picking number one of the Bears, I'd probably go Olu Fashanu because I know he put his life on the line for me, protected me, and then, geez, I'd probably go one of the top 3 wide receivers. Whoever's there at 9, you know.
See, I just love this dude's personality, man.
That's why I wanted to ask you the question of who you think the worst matchup is, because if I take the quarterbacks out, the worst marriage for me is going to be Malik Neighbors in the New York Giants.
Yeah.
And it's not
he's
even
already
close.
he's already put his foot in his mouth while he was in New York in a big way. And I know he's 20 years old, but listen, and you saw the clip today with Caleb Williams asking him questions. You know, he was asking about
you sent me that.
He
was live
going
streaming.
to the Chargers, and
he got nervous.
Playing with Justin Herbert, and he's all smiles and stuff. And then he's like, "You go to the Giants, and you play with that quarterback.
Who's the quarterback there?
Who's the quarterback there?"
And he like looks at his phone, and you just end broadcast immediately.
And that's the second one, though, because there was another one where he was being interviewed, and he said something along the lines of, "You've got to find somebody better to get me the ball."
That was in New York, Cars.
Yeah.
That was with New York reporters. They asked him about playing in New York, and he goes, "Yeah." He goes, "They love me, but they know they got to find a quarterback that can get me the ball." It's like, oof.
But like, if you guys,
he's not wrong, but now's not the time to
listen. If you read the article earlier this year or earlier this offseason where they torched Dable for how badly he was like blaming everybody else on the headset and how he and Wink were having problems, it's one of the best written hit pieces you'll ever read because of it's such a thing. If Malik Neighbors goes there and game 1 he gets like 2 targets, he is gonna throw a fit on that sideline, and Dable is gonna shit down his leg. And that's, for me, that is something that if you're New York, you just can't do. It's already combustible as it is because your general manager has not drafted well. Your coach took an easy schedule to a playoff win, and now they've got you again want to talk about a bad.
I think they gotta go quarterback. New York.
The problem is, Phil, is it's going beyond Joe Shane.
The owner Mara's getting involved
because
Mara.
Joe Shane just went to him last year and committed $140 million or whatever it was dollars to this quarterback.
And you just got to keep him on the roster this year.
You came to me 12 months ago, and
I see what you're saying.
Here was that's a fucking problem, man. And like I said,
Daniel
I know
Jones is on the cap for just under $48 million.
And what is the? And I don't want to go backwards, but this is precisely what Cars and I talked about in fucking October on Cars Keys. Was, do you want to go down this pathway with Justin Fields where you're going to have to commit dollars to him and probably regret it?
Oh, I mean,
within the next calendar year.
So they can finally cut him after this year and still will absorb $22 million. And Phil, I think you have a good point that they should go quarterback. But that team gave up 85 sacks last year. 85. And they take out quarterback caused sacks. It was still 72 sacks in 17 games. You're talking 4 to 5 a game.
Jeez. And they've drafted 2 offensive tackles very recently
in the top 10.
Evan Neal was drafted with the Justin Fields pick that we gave them that pick.
And he got benched last year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
who's the other kid?
Andrew Thomas.
Andrew Thomas. He's a good player, no?
He was 2 years ago. He was not last year.
Jesus. Yeah,
So
I don't pay attention to them.
And this is interesting, and I know we're going to get back to the Bears, but kind of play off what Cars was talking about. I'm looking up here at Daniel Jeremiah's draft, and everybody's heard, and it really seems like Cars, there's more and more. It's not just smoke so much. It seems like there is a player that's on fire moving up these draft boards for everybody. And you mentioned it in your tweet today.
JC Latham.
Daniel Jeremiah has him going 5th.
I did.
Going to the Chargers?
Number 5.
Because they're not going to look at, they don't need a left tackle. They've got Slater.
They got their guy.
They've got Pipkins on the right side, who's not that great. And we know Harbaugh loves building the trenches. So, yeah, for me,
JC Latham. Wow.
Rob, I know we gave up a future first rounder the next year, and that was Evan Neal.
So when you look at it, it's Latham is moving up. And the fact that we live in a world where the fact that we live in a world where he will go he could go before Joe Alt.
Olu Fashanu?
Well, I mean,
before Olu.
That I understand, but I think for most, Alt is far and away because of his lineage and his size, and that he was a former tight end. The fact that Latham has moved that far up already is insane, and that's what
it is. You're shocking me right now hearing that, and the fact that Daniel Jeremiah put him there. But there is that tweet. Cap shared it with me today that there is a bunch of teams trying to get in the top 10 for these offensive tackles.
Well, no, that was Daniel Jeremiah too. He talked to 5 different teams.
Yeah, that was it. That was the tweet.
He said every team that he talked to was
trying to get up to get a tackle.
Here's the nuts and bolts of my conversations. Every team is trying to trade up for an offensive tackle.
And then the other thing is our conversation with Olin Kreutz last week, where he was talking about the league knows that there's a shortage of good offensive linemen. And when you get these giant human beings that can move like a Latham, and you have an offensive philosophy that's about running power, outside zone, and that kind, I totally understand. I mean, Shane, when we were watching him,
He can play left tackle.
He's athletic.
He's
343 pounds and moving. He doesn't look fat. He just looks like a giant Hulk moving out there. And there's things that need to be worked on in his game. He's not as polished as Fashanu and Alt. But again, he's a fucking road grader, mover of human beings.
And all of those guys.
And what does Harbaugh love?
A road grader, mover of human beings.
Yeah. Well, but sorry, Shane, but the reason you hear about that is look at the teams that are there. New York gave up 85 sacks. Washington, the Jets, the Titans all gave up over 60 sacks last year. You look at some of the other ones, and it's one of my favorite stats to sit down and kind of look through is kind of the whole sacks versus which ones are blamed by the quarterback versus time to throw. And so some of these teams had lower sack numbers, but like Joe Burrow was throwing the ball in less than 2.2 seconds because of how bad that offensive line was.
And this is the thing, Cars, and I know you haven't been on with us, but you're smart enough to realize this. Phil and I did probably 15, 20 minutes on this. It might have been when we were talking to Olin. Caleb Williams is going to make Braxton Jones a better left tackle.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to make Darnell Wright a better offensive lineman. I'm not sure if he's going to keep Tevin Jenkins healthy. And I don't know. I know Nate Davis has been through a lot, but it's just one of those things. But it's still, if they have a guy high and it's an offensive tackle, and I don't give a shit if it's Joe Alt or Olu or JC Latham, if that's their guy, you got to roll with Ryan Poles and Ian Cunningham.
Yeah.
You got to roll with them.
Hell yeah.
Oh,
Mr. Wagner.
$111.11. Bill Wagner. I'm sorry, Cars.
You're good.
What was your thought? And I just wanted to make sure we're going to get to every
draft carrier. I always wanted that fucker. Never got it.
Happy Grown Man Christmas Eve, he writes.
Cars got two of those motherfuckers.
I probably did.
No.
This is the year we finally get the G.I. Joe aircraft carrier under the tree. Smash the like button if you learned something from watching TTNL this spring and bear down. Bill, you are a fucking class act. Appreciate you. Every week you're bringing humor, busting my balls mostly, but I still love the interaction with you.
We didn't do our patron mock draft because I didn't want to lose my fucking mind setting that up. But we're gonna do a patron roundtable with these after the Bears draft, and we may do a couple of different shows and have some different patrons on and let them air their grievances. And
I saw HL Priest saying, do you like polls now? It's like he hasn't been watching me this spring. I gave polls
He watches the better show on the network. It's called Cars Keys.
I thought he was watching our show too, both shows. But yes, if you haven't seen Cars Keys, great show Thursday night.
So I'm fucking golden.
It's the one you're golden like the shower. Yeah, that's for sure.
But I want to say this, and then I want to get the James Hunter's question to Cars for $5. But Ryan Poles has done something that I have never seen the Chicago Bears administration do. As a GM, he put football first.
Yep.
He put football first. He recognized the issues with the Chicago Bears. He swung for some fences, and when he missed in the Chase Claypool, this is the biggest moment for me. I told Cap this. I told Adam Rank this. I told obviously Shane. I said it on Greg Braggs. When you have the balls to admit that you're wrong and you move on and you don't hang on to try with Kevin White and with Jerry Angelo and his picks and Greg Gabriel, all these guys just hanging on. Maybe they'll figure it out. We want to cover our own ass. That is not the way to do it. When you see Cade McNown suck and you know it, you admit your mistake, you wave him, and you take the criticism. He wasn't the right guy. We got to find out the next guy. And when you don't do that, you miss out. So Ryan Poles has been outstanding, and he has positioned himself to doing what he did last year. We covered it. Nobody else said it. It was me and Shane and this guy Cars on a show on our network talking about the number 1 overall pick, and they have to do their due diligence on Bryce Young, CJ Stroud and company, because I said Justin Fields, guys, is average. I'm concerned. The issues with him are the same ones we had concerns about on tape at Ohio State. He's not getting better. Shane then turns to me, and we could pull the tape, and said, Phil, well, if they trade it, they have to trade and get a first round next year. And what does that do? That gives you a shot at who? Because we were just talking about, I said, if Caleb Williams is in that draft last year, I'm sorry, Justin's gone, and you're taking Caleb number 1 last year. Well, you get a shot at, not only did they get a shot, your fucking GM, sorry, the cat knocked over, son. The GM won the fucking Powerball, Cars.
This is going to go down as one of, depending on whose side you're on, this is one of the best trades in NFL history, and it by far is going to be one of the worst trades for Carolina, who, from what they did for McCaffrey was bad, and every other, what they've done.
Ryan Burns,
that
DJ Moore.
I love Ryan Burns, but what the hell are the Giants doing? That was a stupid move. If you're going to draft a quarterback, why are you going to go again spend this amount of money? I don't know what they're
doing in the Giants, bro.
So real quick, Daniel. Go ahead, guards.
But to answer that question, I think they're staying. Yeah. They're staying because my belief as of right now is you're never going to be in the top 10 again. If Caleb Williams is who we think he is,
yes,
you don't have any ability. My belief,
you could see something like what happened last year.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
A one pick move.
I could see that happening. Phil's going to lose his fucking mind here. I could see that happening with Brock Bowers.
Oh yeah, the Jets. I could see the Jets
fucking take Bowers.
I could see the Jets do that for that and pick the wide receiver that's left. I do think there's a caveat there because what I said in my mock is I think that New York would go Odunze because they can't trust Neighbors. If Malik Neighbors is there at 9, I have zero idea how you move on from him. You don't, right? And Odunze is kind of the same thing. But I just feel like top 10 draft picks, yes, you can miss, and yes, you can find players in later rounds. But when you hit big, really big, it tends to be in the guys' top 10, top 15-ish range, right? Yeah. And those are the ones that are the most immediate difference makers. Those are the ones that carry over. And if you think of some of your favorite, like the top players in the league, whether it's Mahomes at 12, whether it's a Micah Parsons, whether it's a Bosa early on, whatever it is, you don't get these many opportunities and you're playing with house money. So you're getting your quarterback, might as well give him the best offensive player. I don't see any way that a defensive player is going to get drafted here, but I think you're staying or moving up.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's
that's
but I
one to clip right there.
I wanna go over
No
this
defensive player for
real
Cards.
quick, just to go back to Daniel Jeremiah's final mock draft, and it's all based on phone calls that he's been making around the league. And he nailed Houston last year, even with the trade up for Will Anderson, by the way. Daniel Jeremiah did.
Did he?
Right.
So obviously he had Caleb Williams 1, has Olu Fashanu at 9 with Chicago, but I just want to go over some of the interesting ones along the way. We already talked about J.C. Latham at number 5, J.J. McCarthy falling down to number 11 and going to Minnesota. Number 12, you have a trade up. The Philadelphia Eagles move from 22 to 12 to take
Cornerback.
Fuaga.
Really?
Fuaga.
Yep. And you have Michael
He's
Penix Jr. Yep, you have Michael Penix Jr. going to the Vegas Raiders.
That's a good fit.
Fatanu to the New Orleans Saints. Number 15, Phil's guy. Well, everybody's a fan. Brock Bowers going to Indy.
15.
Yep.
Can't see it.
Number 18, somebody that's been connected to Chicago. Byron Murphy ends up in Cincinnati. Amarius
What number did he go?
18.
18. Wow.
Number 19 sees a big trade up. The Washington Commanders
from the second
come out
round.
of the second round and go to 19 and pick up offensive tackle Amarius Mims. They trade up with the Rams. Tyler Guyton goes to the Steelers. Johnny Newton goes to Miami. Number 22 in the trade down with Denver bounces down with Philly. They
Bo
take
Nix.
quarterback Bo Nix.
Yep.
I knew it.
The
I
Rams?
see it.
So
no, that's
here's
the Broncos. They
here's an
traded the
interesting
Eagles
one.
back.
The Minnesota Vikings' second first-round pick. So Dallas Turner is off the board to Dallas or to Atlanta at number
At
8.
9? At 8. At
8. Number 23 sees the second defensive end come off the board to number 23 to the Minnesota Vikings. Chop Robinson goes to
One of my
Minnesota.
least favorite players in this.
Graham Barton heads to Dallas. Cooper DeJean goes to the Green Bay Packers. Number 26, defensive end Jared Verse ends up in Tampa Bay.
26 he goes.
Leatu Latu, and he ends up in Arizona.
At what number?
27. Brian
The
Thomas.
medicals that you hear about Latu are still 50-50 is from everything I've heard, which is like some are like we're okay with it, others are like he's 100% off our board.
Wow, I wonder where the Bears are on him. It's interesting.
I'll take that bet right now. Name your price. That ain't happening.
You don't believe it'll happen?
Penix at 6 to the Giants. No.
Yeah.
No. Brian Thomas Jr. goes to Buffalo. Detroit, Kool-Aid McKinstry, Nate Wiggins to Baltimore, Xavier Worthy to the 49ers, and Kansas City rounds out the first round with wide receiver A.D. Mitchell, Adonai Mitchell.
Wow.
Very interesting mock to say the least.
Good mock, Daniel Jeremiah. I love how polls, Seth Butler, $2. Thank you, Seth. I love how polls talked about yes men. You've heard that here many a time, that's why we debate here. We don't want to be yes men. We don't want to be unable to criticize our team that and the players that are on it. That's backwards. That's fraudulent, really. So to see the two, Ian Cunningham and Ryan Poles up there, there's a swagger that I haven't seen since Ditka with Chicago right now.
Olu Fashanu.
Phil's boy, Fashanu.
Yeah.
That would, listen, Bowers or Fashanu for me.
Well, so this is before we get into Carr's mock here, because I know we've been rambling a lot, but
It's fine. We do this every week. I don't know.
We've talked this.
We're
Phil and
lying.
I have. Is there? I think it's going to be let's just say the Bears stick and pick There's
You gotta
very
stick
few guys that I'm going to be
upset
furious
about.
Yeah.
Yes.
There is a guy that I know, and probably locally, people love him even more. But like, if
Me and Shane are
if
on
they
the
stayed at
same.
9 and took Johnny Newton, I will be fucking pissed.
That would be my number one pissed off thing.
Yeah.
Number one.
Latu, love the talent. I wouldn't be
scared
to
pissed.
death.
I wouldn't be
scared
pissed.
to death.
I hate his run defense. He's a fantastic pass rusher. He's got a lot of moves. But God, with that neck and him in the run defense, I just can't see him being physical enough to do it. Maybe I'm wrong, but
I like him in the run. I actually was watching that particular thing. And he's not afraid to put his face in there. That's why I'm like, are they sure? I want to get the medical on this kid. But we won't get it.
Orange, become a patron. Check out our tape study we did on him.
My father's reaction to him was the best.
Yeah.
I wish we could clip that, Caden. Coach O saying, this guy, I wouldn't draft him in the third round.
Yeah. Well, I'm not there.
He goes, I would only draft him in the third round.
I would take Johnny in round 2. I would not draft him in round 1 at all.
Yeah, I don't see. He's 285 pounds and he wins. Remember how Jonathan Bullard would time the snap? So he wins when he time snaps.
Every
and has
15th snap, Jose Cotto would be like, see, I told you. Motherfucker's on fire.
Jose.
God, do I love the Shane haymaker from left field. It's always one of my favorite.
Jose's probably watching the show. Like, hey, man, let it go.
Please. I'm getting that DM on Instagram.
Anthony D'Angelo, $9.99. Thank you, Anthony. Sati, hello to my guys, Phil, Shane, and Cars.
Yeah.
Howdy.
But he also has a blank one here.
David.
What that is.
Daniel Jeremiah, that wasn't even possible. He has JC Latham going number 5 overall.
That's the great thing about the draft. Everyone's like, you just trade back, you get that second round pick,
like
yo, and then you get.
Greg had
Greg's
Phil and I on to
10.
do our top 10s for number 9.
Yeah.
And every fucking one, Greg's like, I fucking love this guy. You just got to trade down to get him. Next week. Love the talent of this guy. Just got to drop back
hours
to get him.
10.
Yeah.
Just drop back 48 spots.
First 6
Latham
players.
drop
Yeah,
back,
the fucking
trade
back. Well, the other things that I see is like, oh, there's no way this guy is dropping. There's just no, because I like him.
Oh yeah.
There's no way.
You know,
it's the
Anthony,
draft.
we didn't see your
Crazy
second
shit happens.
pick, so if just put it in and Shane or somebody will grab it.
I'm not moving up for anybody.
Nobody. No motherfucking body.
I mean,
the only reason I've thrown that out, if Arizona moves out of 4, which I know is really not looking likely right now. If you're the Bears and you're going, I can get Marvin, I can get Neighbors, or I can get Alt or whoever my top ranked tackle is and guarantee that I get that person right now, the price to move up from 9 to 5, not too bad. And so if you've got one of these guys with such a higher grade than anybody else on your board, that's when you make the move. You when you listen to that press conference the other day, what did they talk about? They talked about the way they tier these guys.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so you make moves based around how many guys of a tier are left. And so if you're the Bears, Caleb's going to be the only tier 1 quarterback. And if it goes quarterback, that means you're looking at number 5. And much like Houston did when they looked up and they went, can we do Stroud and Anderson? Let's do that. If you're the Bears and you're that sold and there's that much of a difference, you move up.
Hold up. Logan has taken Drake May with the first round. Thanks, Logan. See you, buddy.
Drake,
sorry, Logan.
Drake has all the potential. His
first
footwork
year 1.
His footwork sucks. You have to completely rework the body, and he's not going to play in year one. That's the other smoke streak, the smoke thing that I want to figure out. If Arizona is sitting there and they want to move to number 3 to get Drake May, if you're New England, don't you say, okay, yeah, you can have it. Justin Jefferson has to be part of that group if you want to come up here and do it.
Yeah, it's just like if you're Arizona and Denver is calling you to move up for JJ, because that's supposedly who they anything that any deal you're giving. I'm obviously getting a haul of picks, but it's including Surtain. That's the player that you're getting back.
Has to. And I just don't see a lot of trades happening, though. And I think
this is what we talked about, Cars, and I think I sent this to you and Ryan Cox. Is I think I'm kind of settled in. We get this long build. So when we start focusing on the draft, unfortunately, as Bears fans, it's normally October, November.
2 weeks into the season.
Yeah, you kind of have an idea. You're like, oh, this here, like this guy. And then you get so far removed from it. And then, strangely enough, a day or two before the draft, you kind of find yourself right back to where you were initially because you get driven away because of the chaos. Everything right now is that everybody's trading up for an offensive tackle. The quarterbacks are going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. And, somebody's going to trade up. Michael Penix is going to go to the Giants at 6. Who knows? I'm not going to be surprised at all if you don't see one trade up in the top 10, and it's Minnesota, coming up for JJ or Drake or whomever, and then everything past that is kind of chalk. And I think there's more validity to, recently you've heard more about Byron Murphy being connected to Chicago. Not that they can't use him. Obviously, he's a fantastic player. I love Byron Murphy.
Yeah.
But I also think there's a part of a poker game to this. Atlanta, I think, covets him. So it makes sense for Chicago to get out there being tied to him because Chicago may cover one of these wide receivers, and Atlanta is threatening to, hey, we'll bounce back, get Murphy a little bit later. A team can come up ahead of Chicago for a wide receiver, and Chicago's like, fuck that. You want Murphy? We'll just take him in 9. And that's the game. And I think
I don't disagree at all.
This isn't me dismissing Brock Bowers at all. I'm here in New York, and that's all the talk is that Aaron Rodgers even wants Brock Bowers. And
Aaron Rodgers wants Brock Bowers too, I think.
He didn't say it.
He had a chance to. He was told not to.
But he talked about the wide receivers. He just specifically named an offensive tackle.
Listen, I'm just forewarning
your wide receivers.
I don't know what Carr's is going to do, but I'm just forewarning. If Ryan Poles goes Caleb Williams and Olu Fashanu or Brock Bowers, you might not be able to control me tomorrow night.
Hold on, Shane.
Explosive.
When have we ever been able to control you? So let's
I don't even know what I'll do. I've never been able to be
You'll
that.
be like Ricky Bobby and Talladega.
I did not feel good about myself when I knocked him out last night.
Now. What am I doing? It'll be great.
I might honestly though, real quick, in all serious, I'm gonna have Tate and Devin on the show tomorrow, Shane, watching the draft. I know Riley will probably be there. They're all excited about the draft, and because of the haul that is the quarterback of the Chicago Bears going forward.
And listener, clearly.
This is the reality of where we're going, and we're excited about this. And before we kick off our coverage with Cars, as he does the live mock draft. Now, for the last 2 years, Cars has hit it right on the money.
Yeah, just real quick, but I wanted to address this because it's a good question. You cannot draft.
Nope.
You can't. Let's be honest. The biggest glaring hole on this team is edge rusher. It just is.
Mm-hmm.
There's nobody across from
That's the biggest hole, without a
Montez
doubt.
Sweat. But you can't say I'm just
Fuck
taking
it.
Dallas Turner because or Jared Verse or whomever, because that's what the Bears used to do.
You take
We need
the
this
best player right
Chris
there.
Williams his spine is held together with bubble gum, fruit stripe gum. It tastes great for 13 seconds. That was Chris
That's how many
Williams.
snaps he played too, 13,
Yeah.
and then he was done.
You cannot draft for need. So is it the biggest need? No, it's not. It's the way that this is going to be graded out, and what else plays into it? Keenan Allen's 32 years old. He goes out and pulls a hammy, and then DJ
Bring
twists his
Dante
ankle.
Pedersen.
Yeah, Dante Pettis and Tyler Scott. Let's fucking go.
That's the reality of truth, what you're hearing. You don't
What is
draft for
Keenan Allen's
need.
window? What is his window? 3 years, maybe?
Whose window? What did
Keenan
you say?
Allen.
Oh, yeah. You broke up when you were saying it.
He's got a longer window because he's never been a
He's not
athletic guy.
Yeah.
But he's also not going to you can't count on him to play a complete season.
Yeah, and it's just actually, believe it or not, Valus is probably in the best position he's been in so far with these new kickoff rules. I mean, I don't think he deserves to make a roster spot, but they're not cutting him now. They're gonna see how this plays out. But yeah, you gotta go best player available in the top 10, no matter what.
Again, and you're doubly doing this because you don't expect to be in this position again for a long time. If Caleb Williams is who we think he is, you are not doing it. You're not going to be. I thought Phil was frozen. Hey, it's like Cars Keys. Let's just
it is.
take
Welcome
it over.
to Cars Keys, everybody.
You're not going to get this opportunity again for a while unless you're able to fleece another football team. So you always lean towards best player on your board. And now I think you double and triple down on that.
Yeah, I hear you. And Cars, beyond Johnny Newton, is there anybody at 9 if they stick and pick that you're just going to be like, fuck?
So
it's hard for me.
I don't think the Byron
based on
Murphy stuff
medicals.
is real, but I wouldn't be upset. I would just be disappointed because I think it's a lost opportunity.
Yeah.
I think, yes, we have these defensive deficiencies, but for once in our godforsaken life as fans, let's just build that offense up. Let's give him another tackle, or let's give him 3 stud wideouts and a young stud tight end and say, go make it happen.
Yeah. And so like Jack Kane verse at 9, I would be disappointed. I wouldn't
upset,
be
but disappointed.
pissed,
It's a good phrase.
But I wouldn't. I just Phil doesn't agree with me. I see stiffness. I also see lulls in his game where he's just non-existent. That happens sometimes. I mean, is he in my top 5 defensive ends? 100%. To me, I think there's better players available.
That's a good way
9.
to put it.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, do you want to talk about maybe your thoughts a little bit, or what is your thought process as you're heading into your big shining moment here, superstar?
Oh Lord, you're going to give me a bigger ego than I really need. So thank you. No, I think, it comes kind of what I've been saying, right? I think when we look at this, you're not going to be in this position. I think you're really expecting a playoff run. I think if you listen to Ryan Poles when he spoke the other day, and they some of the dumb questions that were getting asked, someone was like, do you draft for need, or like, how are you looking at this? And he basically said, look, we haven't done perfect, but I really think that we've done a pretty good job in filling a lot of the holes. And I think to your point, you're right. Edge rusher or pass rusher, like you can live with DeMarcus Walker if you get Byron Murphy and Murphy tears off, right? You can live with Jared Verse if Dexter Jr. keeps making it.
Yeah.
But I read everything into that as saying, listen, I really want to build this team as an offense first. If you went into that Super Bowl, Shane, who had the better defense?
Say again,
Super Bowl. Who had the better defense in the Super Bowl?
The Super Bowl we went to?
No, this last one. Kansas City or San Fran?
Oh, I mean, overall, Jesus, that's actually...
To me, San Fran has the better defense.
Overall, yeah.
But Kansas City had a better playmaking defense.
Yeah. Right.
And so what you look at...
And Jones is the separator, yeah.
The wild card. I think when you look at that, what the Bears have set themselves up to do on the defensive side with JJ now getting interceptions is to be sort of an attacking defense that can make plays, force turnovers, and get around. Sure, it would be really great to add another pass rusher, but I do believe the Bears are high on Dexter Jr. continuing to ascend. And if you look at most of his grades and where he was winning at pass rush at the end of the season at a higher clip than kind of started off where Jalen Carter started really good and kind of fell off. Dexter Jr. started slower and built up. And so I think they're going to really rely on his growth as part of this. And so all of that to say is I look at this as this is the last time you're going to be here. You're going to be aggressive. You're going to go after players because, Keenan Allen is a great player. He's not going to stop you from getting another wide
This
receiver.
is the thing, and I think we talked a little bit about this with Greg Braggs, and Phil said the same thing. I'm just talking about me, myself. If I was running the show, I wouldn't. I would be hard-pressed to move up. If Ryan Poles said, well, that's my guy.
Yep.
And he went up in there, I got to put my faith into him because I believe in enough of what he's done in this roster construction. Am I gonna absolutely love it?
No.
No, but I'm not
I'll
gonna
understand it.
Let's just, and I don't want to set the world on fire. Let's just say that Marvin Harrison Jr. is that guy, a guy for him, or it's Malik Neighbors or whomever, or it's Joe Alt. If that's who it is, I'm not gonna shit on the player because they moved up for him. I'm just going to question the process. I just, with any of these wide receivers, cars, and I think that this is important to talk about before your mock draft, is a lot of people, and let's listen, not everybody is watching tape and breaking it down. I just don't have, I have Caleb Williams, and then I have a country mile gap between the next quarterback. I don't have that at wide receiver. It's not that big of a gap that I'm giving up a premium asset. And I'm talking about me in my process. I don't have enough of a gap there to be like, holy shit, I got to give up the Carolina pick next year and a sweetener to get up there and get Marvin Harrison when there's a chance maybe Malik Neighbors drops or maybe Roma Dunze drops. I don't have that. But to your point is, I think I know where you're going to go next, is you're assuring yourself of one of those guys.
Yeah, because I really think that, to me, I'll have Neighbors and Marvin kind of 1A and 1B, and then I do have a gap between those two and Odunze. But again, sometimes I think when we look at this, and let's say we move up to 9, and let's just say it costs us both second rounders next year. I think sometimes we get really overvalued on some of these picks if you're that certain of a player.
Yeah. I get it.
And so I don't disagree. It would kind of similar to if we draft Byron Murphy, Shane, I won't be pissed. I would be disappointed. I would not be pissed at the moved up. I'd be disappointed.
Right.
But I would also understand that the type of player that we're getting is special.
Phil will be back. He ran into some internet issues that he's
good. I
justifying right now.
I set the denial of service.
Should we really fuck with him and finish your mock draft up real quick and end
All right, it's
broadcast?
done. Yeah, let's done. Hit that button. Hit end.
No, but I agree with what you're saying, Cars. And there is there's so many players in this draft there's players that I love. Like I said, I'm a Joe Alt fan. I just think that there's a massive amount of upside there, and he's so young in his progression as an offensive tackle. Not saying that he's going to be the same player, but I cannot get Lane Johnson out of my head, because Lane Johnson he wasn't an offensive tackle originally. He was a tight end. He actually played 4 different positions, but he's 21 years old and only been an offensive tackle for a couple of years or 3 years, and I love that upside there. Does Ryan Poles love him enough? Let's say Tennessee doesn't love Alt, and they called Chicago and said, hey, we're willing to go back to 4. We're willing to go back to 9 for a 4. That's like the Leonard Floyd trade. That was from 11 to 9. I think we made that trade with Tampa, and we jumped the Giants. Would something like that disappoint you if you're flipping your pick at 122 to go up for an all, or if Neighbors was there, or a Dunze?
If you've got conviction, you just don't let these guys in the top 10 play to chance. That's the way you kind of look at it. Is someone asked him and they didn't answer the question, Shane, and it's something I probably wanted to circle back and say is, how many of these guys have true first round grades? If you remember last year,
you can't talk about all. He's not going to be there.
And but he won't be there. But he isn't someone you trade up for. Which those two don't.
Thanks, Jake.
Those two don't go hand in hand.
Yeah,
but that's
we're talking about many different scenarios, Jacob. That's how this works.
But if you've got a gap between Alt and the next left tackle, because you're not drafting a right, that takes Fuaga out, that takes some of these other people out. If you've got that gap and that is a big need on your football team, you absolutely go do that.
Yep.
If you look at it and said, last year, I think when we talked about this draft, there were 12 people that had first round grades.
Right.
The year before, there might have been 10 to 15. So again, when I sit down and say, hey, the reason you don't do this is if there's 10 players with first round grades and you're picking in the top 10, you're going to get someone of value. But then once you get to 11 or 12, you start to, there's just as much value in the 20th pick. And I would actually argue there's more value in the 20th pick than there is in the 12th, because you're getting the same type of player. And these drafts are very type heavy. But hold on, I'm sorry. Yes, Jacob, you don't. And that's fine. And I'm not trying to call you out on this, but that's your gap. General managers and front office people, they will. And if they do, that's why you go through and do it.
Yeah. And
and so with pick 32 of the first round, now that's completed. Oh, hey, Phil.
So it was a great draft. But Phil, do you have any shout outs real quick?
Yeah. Shout out you guys for carrying the show. And
Tory Taylor.
What's that?
He took Tory Taylor.
I drafted Malachi early at 9th overall.
Punter.
But I just think
if thing just went out.
If you've got every year it's 10 to 15 guys that have first round grades, you don't miss on an opportunity to get one of those guys. They just don't come. In last year's, I think we talked about, like, you're going to be drafted people in the first round that should be in second. I think by the time we got to the second round, we had people at the end of the second round that should be in the fourth round. These drafts now, you just are all so top heavy, and everybody
If
else.
you watched Fight Night last night, and Phil
Exactly.
can attest to this, you got to a point where you're like Phil. I know he didn't really want to draft the fucking linebacker from Notre Dame, where he did,
What?
but he needed a fucking linebacker to fill the roster. So you're like, fuck, this is it. You're right off of a fucking cliff completely.
Ryan Poles
forward thinking.
Forward
think
thinking.
about that.
He can't be held down by his parents upstairs who can't understand the importance of football. He's gonna do it. And
I'm gonna say this again. Sorry, I'm gonna say this again. You have to take your individual scouting out of this.
are you already started the
No,
draft?
I'm just saying.
Oh, okay, I was just
if you are a NFL team and you have alt, and then you've got a gap between that next person, you are going to move up for alt. You're not going to sit there at 9 and take the next available player. So Deshane's example, if Tennessee is there at 7 and alt is there, and they're like, we don't want to draft, we want to pick up some more draft capital, would you go do it to go get alt? If you've got enough of a gap, you are going to move up 2 places and get that.
If Ryan Poles has him, or maybe it's neighbors, or maybe it's a Dunze, or
whoever it is.
So what we were talking about, how we got onto this, and I brought you up, is all 3 of us here, none of us are advocating going up. If Ryan Poles does it, we'll be disappointed, but we're not going to shit on the player, whoever he gets. That's not how you do it at all.
I think the
process we will question, because some of the guys in the chat, they have things graded different. We do. I don't have a big gap between Harrison, Neighbors, and a Dunze to warrant me giving up a premium asset to go up and get him. Ryan Poles and Ian Cunningham may.
Marvin Harrison to me is the most overhyped player in this draft, without a doubt. If we were going to pick that, just watching his tape, he's very good. He's a first-round talent, but he is not a dominator like I saw a Justin Jefferson, a Randy Moss. I just don't see that. That's where my Bowers thing is. I see 2 unicorns, Caleb Williams and Brock Bowers. Now, Brock Bowers, to this point, and what I've been talking about, can play slot. He could play X. He could play. What do we look for, Cars, on Sundays? I know as a coach, I'm looking for mismatches.
Chess pieces.
Absolutely. I want to get a mismatch. So what do I do? And to your credit, what you led with the offensive staff that's coming in here and the way they're forward thinkers, they also realize the importance of the tight end position and how to manipulate that tight end to become, oh, he's a wing. Oh, he's in motion. Oh, now he's playing X. Now you have Allen in the slot, Bowers outside, and DJ Moore on the other side. Oh, now you've made the Green Bay Packers corner, who runs his mouth, who I forget his name. Zaire Alexander, have to cover Bowers based on your motion and formation. You've studied them. You know what they go into when they go tight end wing. Now they bring him down. Oh, guess what? I'm going to put 6'4", 243 that runs a 4.48 and can leap out the gym, and that's winning fucking football. If they go that route, those are the guys. The mismatches are the key. And that's my assessment of it. I have Roma Dunze over Marvin Harrison. I have Neighbors over Marvin Harrison. I don't see a trade up. I talk Cap off the ledge. I'm like, listen, I've done this a long time. When I'm coaching defense, the last thing I want is somebody moving from wing to outside that can actually threaten us, like that can, and that stresses you
That's
big time.
That's Kittle, right? That's
Yeah,
Kelsey.
exactly.
These even to a lesser degree, what Evan Ingram has been doing in Jacksonville, right?
Correct.
These type of players.
He's not even in the same
right
area code as Bowers, right? But he's
got
doing
one or two traits that are somewhat similar, and it's enough to make him a piece.
Exactly.
Waldron in Seattle, they ran the 9th most 12 and 13 personnel of everybody in the NFL last year, and that's with what? Disley and Noah Fant and Colby Parkinson as the tight ends. You can't tell me that he wouldn't be salivating over the idea of Kmet, Everett, and Bowers in 2 and 3 tight end.
And much like
situation.
if we're talking about Keenan Allen having a short window, the Everett deal, you
1
can
year.
move off of next year for $1 million
Exactly.
negative against you. That's it, $1 million.
Well,
And I want to destroy the narrative because Cars, you brought up Kittle. Kittle, I don't know what he weighs, 240, maybe 238. He's in that range, but he blocks better than Cole Kmet at 265. He's got great technique. He's an athlete, right? He has the desire. Cole improved. I was his biggest critic. I'll be the first one to say, motherfucker improved. Great. Think I don't want that? Like, fans get caught up in that. I'm just going by what he put on tape, but he improved. He heard the criticism, saw it. His coaches hold him accountable, and you get better.
Yep.
And now, I'm sorry, Georgia played Bowers 40% at tight end. So the other 60%, he was all over the field, and we showed our patrons that. I compare him to Terrell Owens and Chris Carter. Like, they're together. That fucking dynamic ability to control and contort your body and catch everything in your hands. He's in a flat route, just catches it with his eyes on it and turns up the field. Shane, you, me, and my dad were just, I think we showed that it was a 4-yard throw that he turned into a 16-yard gain, and he he planted his foot and just exploded up the sideline.
Yeah.
You can't coach that shit. So that's
what
a
Laporta
unicorn.
did. That's what Laporta did to Detroit's offense last year.
Exactly, bro. And we loved him last year.
And so I'm with you, because I think if you just look at it, you're adding a player and a good offensive coordinator.
Bruce, shut the fuck up, bro.
Not
you listening.
Not Mike.
Pay attention in class. Yeah. Sorry, Cars.
No, you're fine. Not Mike Martz, right? You get a regular offensive coordinator, and it doesn't matter where the talent is. If you get a tight end, again, Kansas City's offense, Rice was starting to step up. The rest of the wide receivers are mid at best, average at best.
Yeah.
But you've got a Kelsey or Kelsey light or Kelsey-like player. That is a difference maker, because none of these linebackers these days can cover those type of players,
bro.
So now you're going to go nickel. Okay, now I'm going to bring in an extra corner to cover the linebacker or the tight end, which now makes it easier to run. And so now, as an offensive coordinator, you go, okay, are you gonna give me an extra cornerback so I can run heavy and run straight at that corner with Bowers? Or are you going to give me a linebacker and now I can run a seam route and make that happen?
Exactly.
Think
it becomes
about
a
how,
mismatch everywhere. That's
think
why
about how much better Brock
happen.
Bowers makes a guy that you've already invested in Cole Kmet.
Exactly, bro.
Oh,
he allows Cole
it lets you
the
do
freedom.
It does, and it lets him do what he's actually built to do.
Exactly. He allows him, and to Carr's point, if you move him outside, the corner has to go. Now Cole can work against a overmatched linebacker.
Most of these linebackers these days cannot cover. It is Shane, your guy, Pace Jr. from last year, right? Where did he struggle really early was in pass coverage.
Absolutely.
Right? It's the hardest thing to learn, because in college, you might be facing a 5th round, 6th round tight end prospect week in, week out.
Yep.
Whereas you come here and you've got a lot of, you've got a Laporta, you've got a Komet in conference. If you add a Bowers, all of a sudden, all of those struggles become real. Linebackers, a lot of these guys are either run thumpers. I love Sanborn in that instance, right? He's not the greatest coverage, but he's a run thumper. That's what makes TJ Edwards so valuable is his pass defense, and that's what makes Edmonds so valuable is pass defense. But teams are not going to be able to do that. If you go into Green Bay or Minnesota or Detroit and you've got 2 tight ends or 3 tight ends that you've got to cover and you've got to have questions as how you're going to cover them, that is the win. That is the win.
It's the win. It's a mismatch win. And then listen, Cars, you haven't even mentioned the cherry on top is the quarterback that throws from everywhere. Have a target like Bowers.
Quarterback who uses the middle of the field and will throw to the middle of the field.
Oh my God. So now I can see it. Double slants, double posts. So you got Cole Kmet and you got Bowers here, right? They run double posts. You bring in motion DJ Moore. All he does is go into the flat. It's DJ Moore eating all day. And you're oh my God, I'm starting to feel bad. Nope, don't feel bad. Just keep doing it.
And then what do? You do a nice little delayed handoff to Swift.
Exactly.
And see it go.
Just imagining that formation with Cole Kmet and Bowers at the wing stretching. If Cole Kmet runs the post and Bowers runs right through the seam and he's looking down and he is going to fucking dime it to Bowers going and threatening. I mean, that's the kind of stuff you get. And then you add Everett. I love Everett. Like Shane knows that guy catches the ball, dips past.
He makes Cole Kmet better.
Exactly.
But the wild card in all of this for Brock Bowers, if that is what you really have circled for tomorrow night.
Yeah.
The ace up your sleeve with him is you remove the tight end label. And like we talked about.
You have to.
But like we talked about with Keenan Allen goes down. You don't miss anything. DJ Moore goes down.
Speak it, bro.
You don't miss anything. You still have Cole Kmet and Gerald Everett that can do what they're doing. You can flag Bowers out.
Exactly.
You're not missing anything.
It's the old New England teams. It's when
I think
Gronk and the Murderer
Logan
were both healthy.
I think Logan had that in the chat. Right here
truth.
he did.
Who?
It's the best point Logan's made since 2011.
Maybe it's the best.
But Hernandez, where is Bowers also really good at in an H-back type role? What does Waldron love? H-backs. What did
don't forget that's why they've been connected to Ben Sinnott multiple times.
And for that reason. What did Hernandez do a lot? H-back. That is a missing position for the Bears. If you've got a tight end that you can stick in the backfield and kind of move around, and you can have him in a shotgun formation to the right of the quarterback and running a route directly from there, or you can send him in motion to see and move him back. Like, you will use him in an H-back, much like we'd use Swift and others, where it's show me where's zone, show me where's man. I'm going to put you in motion, show me something, and I'm going to stress you. And that's it.
We are at 10:40, so that gives
that's the show. Thanks, everybody.
That gives Cars time.
Well, before we start, I just want to say, as we kick off this, we are going to be live breaking down the draft. Hopefully my internet never does that again, especially tomorrow, for fuck's sake. Breaking down all of the draft live here on TTNL with all of these guys. Shout out to Caden Whitlow, who put this together to get you ready for TTNL coverage of the 2024 NFL
be at 20 for the Bears.
Exactly, Greg.
Oh my God!
This is crazy.
I am in heaven!
What?
Because I will make this one more time clear. Caden Whitlow, got it. He is the best quarterback I have ever scouted on tape.
You come to play USC, everybody on defense, everybody on that coaching staff
Yes.
makes Caleb Williams the shining beacon. We have to stop this guy. Our defense is geared.
Chicago's trading up.
Yes!
What?
Oh my
Here
God.
it is!
Chester just reported.
I'm sure he could have taken those two pussies in the corner last year, beat the shit out of them.
It's important.
never lies.
Yeah, exactly.
Here's the thing.
Hi.
Hey, there you go. Yep, I like it.
Phil and Shane, what's up, man? I miss you guys. I wish you guys were here. We're here for the Bears-Packers game. You know who's going to win this one. Miss you. Wish you were here.
You have to get that right. You can have all the great team around. You got to get that right. And if you want consistency, you got to get that right.
I would like a defensive end. If they stay at 9 and Dallas Turner doesn't get drafted, or if they really feel that they can't trade down without losing a guy like Verse, or if it's Turner that's on their board, then I expect them to stay at 9 and draft.
Quarterbacks, they probably do, but if they don't, like, hey, do you want to come up? Can we switch 9 and 3 and get Marvin Harrison Jr.?
Chicago Bears have made a trade. They're moving up because J.J. McCarthy slid in at 4. Yeah. So 4 quarterbacks went. Chicago goes to Harbaugh. All right, give us the pick. Here you go. And they get Marvin freaking Harrison.
And there we are.
Cars, you coming on with us tomorrow night?
No, I'll probably be out, but thank you.
Well, I'm going to send you the link. We at least got to get a Cars
reaction, for God's sake.
And if it's a horrible pick, we need a Maisie, swearing tirade.
She won't be around, but that's why Daddy won't be around, because I think I'll be drunk at a bar with a bunch of dads in the neighborhood, but we'll see what we can do.
I'm going to tell you, shit in your hat and get the hell off the field.
My girl
Cars is going out with spending draft night with Rich Hansen and Grid and Wolfie and
God, those were the
Newts.
days. Those were the days.
Notes. Yes, all those people you'll be seeing, plus more surprises. Kenneth Davis, Friday night, Chris Zorich, and Matt Waldman will join us. Tomorrow, we're going to have David Kaplan early. Then you're going to see Jonathan Hood's going to join us, and a lot of other surprises. Adam Rank tomorrow night. And just be ready as we embrace a new era in Chicago Bears football. Now,
all right,
nerd alert.
Drum roll, please.
Nerd alert.
Guys, I don't know what. Yes, we all know what's happening here. Put Caleb. Put
What?
Give me some fucking names.
So Caleb Williams, Cars, is that
That's
is-
locked, etched in stone.
All right. So unfortunately, the way that I had to do this in case because I had to slow it down because it goes so fucking fast, you can't
Right.
pause. So
Here we go.
we're gonna have to be
Bears-
a little bit patient.
With the first pick,
That
All
would
right.
be a shocker.
Drake May going to
All
the Washington Commanders.
But
So
you
I'm
also
gonna-
know that Jaden Daniels is going to go here.
Yeah. So
Let's see.
ooh.
Joe Alt.
So this is getting crazy already. This is what I hate about these simulators. I almost want to start it over.
Let's start it over. Do it.
Ours is
It's-
in charge.
I don't like. I like a little bit, but we can push
Yeah.
this over.
Joe All ain't going number 3. So let's
Cars is in charge of your day and your life.
Now I'm gonna have to go watch episodes of Charles in Charge after this.
Scott Baio.
He was the man.
Drake May
Drake
went
May
again.
again.
If it goes all again, start it over. Let's see.
Oh,
Joe Alt again, bro. Come on.
All right, hold on.
You can do it less
Maybe
silly.
go to the ESPN covering one.
Yeah, you can turn
These
down the
fucking
randomness.
nerds. These nerd boys at PFF. What the fuck?
All right.
Here,
Where's my old drop?
Go at the bottom. Shane,
Yeah.
Shane, scroll down there. There should be.
Yeah.
The best abilities, availability. Randomness.
Less. Yes.
Less.
And what about the public versus the PFF board? Should we bump that up a little bit to get
Yeah,
out of
move it to the middle. I always like that one kind of in the middle.
Right.
I know nothing about these options. It's hilarious.
Well, that's because you don't sit on here.
I
and-
don't
Drake May
do
goes
any-
again. I'm
If
gonna
it
lose
goes
my-
all, I swear
We'll
to
just
fuck.
keep going with it. It's fine. There we go.
Marvin Harrison Jr.
You know what though? There's in some regards I
There's
could
an
see them doing
outside
that.
chance, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, boy.
that would make sense.
Malik, 2 receivers going back to back. 3
Oh
off
boy.
the board. So Roma Dunes is gone.
So this is going to be Jaden Daniels.
You hope.
Joe Alt is off the board.
I hate
Oh,
these
God.
things. All right, just go with it. Brock. All right, what is this?
Brock Bowers
We
went
can't
off
do
the
this.
board.
We can't do
What
this.
the
This is
fuck
the
is
worst.
this trap?
This is PFF just fucking with us at this point.
My fucking internet goes out.
Oh my
Holy-
god.
Who went there? Quinion
All right,
yeah,
Mitchell.
Let's do this one last time here,
Yeah.
Shane.
All right.
One last.
All right. Let me just
Who's
close this
controlling
out.
the old mockery?
Jesus.
Sports mockery. Your boy is controlling it right now. Why don't you just make the pick? Like me and you could make the picks for each team. I'll make the pick for the
You know what?
next
That would
one.
be a better. You know what? Let's do that instead of our normal one. Let's just do the entire first round the way that we think that this should play out.
There you go. Instead of looking at these fucks do it.
Oh
Just
my
do
god.
that first round and go through because after that,
We'll do it
fucking
quick.
knows?
We don't have to break down the player. Me and
Yeah.
I'll
It's
be
literally
one GM,
doing the
you do
same
it.
thing. Yeah. So you want to just do the all right, let's
we'll just do all
So
of them.
Shane, or we'll all talk about who they should pick. Is that how you want to do it?
I want to do it the way that we think that they'll pick, not who they should.
Okay.
Right.
The way that we think that this is going to go, because I want this to somewhat be as
yeah, we'll do
close
that
to
and then
reality.
then we can start one over and we'll just run it to 75 just to
see.
Yeah.
What?
Oh my god, this is fucking PFF.
Let's throw curls.
So, Caleb Williams, bam. This is what we think is going to happen.
We can't see it, Shane.
Oh, I didn't share it yet. Jesus.
He's a very nice dick that any woman would love.
PFF got me all fucking flustered.
All the drops. All the drops.
Jeepers creepers.
All right, so we're going with Jaden Daniels. Is everybody in unison here that
I
that's
think that's by far all the reports they hammered out what happened on that night, and so Jaden Daniels is going.
New England. Do you
saying
think they
JJ.
trade down?
I think this is Drake at this moment.
Drake May.
May.
Yeah. So well, Cars is the
This
the
is your
ultimate-
decision.
Fantastic. So,
So-
weird to have this. Yeah, I think this is going to be Drake. I don't see them being a JJ place. Here I have them looking at Marvin. Marvin's taken 2 top 30 visits, Chicago and Arizona.
Stick and pick?
Stick and pick, because I think they're going to ask for too much and no one's going to want to pay after. If May falls, it's a different story. But if May's
Quarterback.
on, yeah, if more so May than JJ.
Well, the Chargers are on the clock, and Minnesota is.
I can make an argument for Harbaugh taking Bowers for the reasons we talked about. I could see that, right? But, you know, that would be my argument that he
they're
sees
trading-
what I see here, or they could take an
I
offensive
mean, if
tackle.
I am
Joe
the
Alt
Chargers,
can play right tackle.
How are you passing up? How are you passing up 11 and 23 plus if you're the Chargers?
You're not.
That's a very good question, bro. I
You're
don't
not.
think you can.
And that
Or do you tell them I want 11 and Justin Jefferson? If you're
So, I
gonna
mean,
play
I
hard.
think
I don't
that
know
would
if
be
they'll give up.
No, they
Justin.
won't. They won't.
But
It
I
wouldn't make
think
sense.
you here, if you look at it and you say, okay, let's trade it to Minnesota, 11 and 23, because you still have a really good chance at Latham there. You still have another place. So yeah, 11 and 23 for 5.
Do it.
Yeah.
You're going to make the trade. I like this.
Yep.
So look, he's making the trade. The Vikings are trading up. They've eyeballed their future quarterback.
It would
is
have to be JJ.
Totally. I
All
have.
right, I know where
JJ
Cars
number
is going
2.
with this.
This is an interesting spot for the New York Football Giants.
So I have them in both of the last 2 kind of top 10 mocks that I've done doing Odunze, simply because I think Neighbors would put a phone call into Neighbors like, how do you feel about being a New York Giant? And he would say, fuck yourself, fuck your couch. Who are you going to have throwing to me? It better not be Daniel Jones. And I think that scares them away. And so my gut right now is that if it went this way, that this would be Odunze.
Yeah. Kyle, they didn't give up 3 number 1s. They gave up 2. 11 and 23.
Kyle, pay attention, Kyle. Don't get me going and yelling at you, falling asleep
I'd
in
have
the back of the room.
Odunze here.
So he goes a Dunze. That leaves the Titans.
Which I think is clearly a Joe Alt.
Joe Alt off the board for the Titans.
So, Shane, you talked
Now.
about smoke.
Yep.
I can see a scenario right now where the Jets leapfrog the Bears here to go get Brock Bowers.
Wow. There is a great showcase.
You said the Jets,
Just
right?
remember this
The
tomorrow, guys. See if Cars is right. I would have to agree with Cars based on.
I think
Here's
you have to do
Aaron
111
Rodgers.
Do
He's
111
saying-
and see.
He's saying the same thing I'm saying. Like,
Oh, we can
I
force
need
it.
this difference maker.
So you're just flipping a 4th to move
Yep.
up.
Yep.
So it's 10 to 8.
Yep.
Force it. Bam. All right. So you are going Brock Bowers.
I am.
The Jets have traded up from 10 to 8 to jump in front of the Chicago Bears and get Brock Bowers. Oh, crush me now.
And this is
Here is Cars now. You are the GM.
You don't blink. If in some ways this feels homerish to make it feel this way, and I normally would not have done this if Neighbors had not made such an overall stink publicly about the Giants. If this happens and you're the Bears, you don't think twice. You don't do anything. You run up to Neighbors.
20 years old.
He's
crazy.
The comp for him is Jamar Chase.
He's an animal.
Phil, thoughts on the process here?
The process, the draft is going crazy smart by Cars based on what he did up in front. I could see all those trades happening. Like, oh yeah, that makes sense. Now I'm here. This is tough for me because I have Fashanu and Malik Neighbors. I have Fashanu ranked above Neighbors in my top 50 by 1. So it's like, what are we doing? If I'm the coach, I'm like, or the scout, or I'm your college scouting director, Cars. What do we value more? Would be my question. Are we taking a game? Like, this is Steve Smith type of football player. I talked about Victor Cruz in regards to what I was saying when I watched Victor. Every ball that was thrown near him, he would attack. But the better comp is Steve Smith. He's a bully. He's a game breaker, a field flipper, and he's got great eyes to catch the football. So
I would pull the trigger here. I'm in agreement, but let me just throw this into the fray.
Before you do, Shane, I just want to say the way I always view it is very similar to Cincinnati. If you have an average tackle is better and more important than an average wide receiver.
That's a
but
good
an elite
argument.
wide receiver is more important than elite tackle. If you could go back to Cincy and say, would you rather have Penei Sewell again, or would you stick with Jamar Chase? They would choose Jamar Chase 10 out of 10. And it's just the way the league is going, especially with understanding he's got some warts, but Braxton Jones is at least serviceable as a tackle for now. You make that move.
Now, let me ask you this.
Albert Breer had that, Jeremy, and talked about it and said it's
Jerome, bro. Oh, he flip-flops too much, so we call him Jerome here.
Jerome.
Thank
Albert
you.
Breer talked about that, and if you read the actual blurb from him, he has in parentheses that it's minimal. Almost no worry. Yeah.
I want to ask what Jared is asking to GM Cars and car polls. Was it Greer that called him a whole hard to deal with wide receiver the other day? Do you want that? Or do you feel comfortable with DJ Moore and Keenan Allen kind of shutting him down? Or is he just a Brandon Marshall type that could destroy a locker room?
I think you've got a better locker room than most expect. Because if you look at the other side, right, Edmonds has been a leader and a captain all the way through. You know, you see the way that Neighbors was interacting with Caleb Williams on some of these videos. You know that there's going to be a trust factor. I'd like my wide receiver to have a little bit of a diva in them.
Mm-hmm.
You need.
They don't have one. They haven't had one. I mean, Anthony Miller was fake bravado. I mean, that doesn't count. But let me just throw this out here. I brought this up, and I just want to. I would draft Neighbors here, but I want to throw this out there. So the drop from 9 to 75 is obviously significant.
Mm-hmm.
If you entertained any type of a trade down here, very likely Atlanta's not going wide receiver. Could the Chargers? Yes, I suppose they could. I think they're probably going offensive line. But if you entertained a trade down, even if you got back a 3, that would give you the ability with a 4th rounder and 2/3 to get up for at a decent spot in round 2 if you're looking for a pass rusher. Is that anything that you're considering? Looking to try to fill a glaring hole on your team and getting into round 2 by trading up with you have the 2/3 and a 4th, or you have a 2 from next year. Whatever, however you want to get. I mean, let's be honest.
I think you got to get, if you're
You
going
could go
to
way
trade
up. You could go way up when you think about it. But just, I want your guys' thoughts on that.
It's a good question. The way I view it, and it seems that a lot of front offices view it, because this is such a poor draft once you get outside of kind of that first 15. I don't make that move, because the talent that you're going to get there from Neighbors is going to be significantly greater to me than the combination of the 2 people you get at tackle. Like, let's just say you take a tackle or someone else at 15 and a pass rusher in 2. What you'd get out of Neighbors, even if you want to put Olu in that category for right now, what you're going to get out of them is significantly more than you're going to get from the other 2 positions. Yeah, you could fill a need, but I don't see a Harold Landry type situation where a really good pass rusher is going to fall in the second round because of injury or concerns along those, like a narrowing of the spine. I just don't see that sort of thing happening.
All right, so just one more option here. Is this anything that you would be interested in going all the way back? Because Arizona has 27, 35, and 66.
No interest in falling that far back into the first round.
I agree, but I'm just trying to give.
It's a fair.
Yep, trying to give.
The
options.
audience needs the option, and the GM has to answer. You're staying at 9. I would be pounding the table for Olu. You are pounding the table and making good, valid points in the discussion of what he brings you can't find or you're paying for in free agency next year. Yep. That's what your point is here.
Yeah, and Neighbors is unlike anybody.
His speed
that they have on that they've had on this roster in a long time. To me,
is if he's being chased by a 4-2-2 guy, Neighbors is all of a sudden a 4-2-1 guy. Like he's just that kind of fast that they said that you don't find wide receiver speed like his other than a Tyreek Hill. And I think you do it. You see what you can't go wrong either way, Phil. So I'm not gonna.
I'm with you.
It's
if this happens, right? This is the questions we're having tomorrow while they're on the clock, and you're getting a really good job here by Cars answering it. It is a valid question on both sides, and I think the value, even Rob Daniel pointing this out. I mean, listen, I hope Neighbors goes in and plays the way his resume shows. I don't see the Kevin White bullshit, I don't see
Kevin White was such a fallacy. I mean, Phil, he ran the 4-3. He never looked 4-3 on tape. He looked like a 4-5 guy. Never aggressively
broke tackles.
He showed stiffness in
he
everything.
Was very stiff. His ability at the stem sucked.
That's why he got injured all the time, was because
talking about DJ Moore and Keenan Allen's impact on him. I think there's one key player here that we're not talking about having a massive impact on him, and that's the guy that we just took at number 1.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Caleb Williams is going to come in here as a leader from day 1.
That's
what he's not going to take any bullshit from Lee. You're up in my face, bitching. I'll get you the ball.
Shut the fuck up.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
Run the right route next time.
Run the right route, Logan.
Caleb Williams, Mitch would shit his pants if that happened. I got to read a book on having an explosive wide receiver because that's what good quarterbacks do. That's what would happen.
And remember, we only have, as of now, Keenan Allen for a year. And you pay that 4th-round pick for a year of Keenan Allen anyway. You got him for
Totally
a year.
agree.
So if you draft Neighbors, Keenan Allen's worth 20+ million a season. But maybe you don't have to pay him that. You could spend that money elsewhere. Or you renew him for 2 more years and you make something happen.
I would have zero issue with giving him a 2-year
It's
extension.
such flexibility.
Yep.
And it's a position we've never negotiated.
We have 18 seconds left on the clock.
So it's Malik Neighbors.
There it is.
Bam.
Cars, the GM. I saw my guy Kerry Franklin in the. I haven't seen him. I miss you, bro. But
Let's start ripping
get
through.
Malik Neighbors and Caleb Williams.
We'll start ripping through these here pretty good.
Atlanta's gonna take Dallas Turner
or Byron Murphy.
Yeah, I think it's. You know what? I think it's going to be. Ooh.
I
If it
think
went
it would
this
be
way,
Edge.
yeah, because Raheem. Well, no, Raheem coming from Seattle or from Los Angeles. I think that might move Murphy up a little bit. So
trying to find that destroyer in the middle.
Yeah. And
Murphy.
Yeah, I'm taking Murphy. I think that's Murphy would be. I'm not taking him. I think he would be the move at this point. Again, it's one of those moves where you're like, I don't necessarily love it, but it's a good fit and I can understand it.
Chargers on the clock. They have their essentially their pick beyond all of JC Latham.
JC Latham, because we've heard over and over again that they're in love with him. He makes a lot of sense here.
PFF's rankings are horrible.
Yeah, they're
always
just telling you.
Somebody,
always spot on,
somebody in the
Phil.
chat's going to be like, "Oh my God, Cars, you dumbass! Latham, you can get him in round 2."
Yep. Yeah.
Denver, are they picking Bo Nix here or Michael Penix?
God, I think that this would be the first kind of curveball, and I would see this being a Bo Nix situation because I don't think Penix's style fits in at all with what he wants to do.
I love Penix, man. The more
I do too.
Do you think that they would like? They have a big need at corner across from Surtain. Do you think that they would entertain making the top corner available here and then trying to trade back up for Bo Nix?
Well, let me take.
If he doesn't go here, who's taking Bo Nix?
The Rams.
You think that they would?
Snead's
even
quarterback
with
in college was Nix's father.
Yep.
And Matt Stafford is 36 years old.
So that's the pick then, Bo Nix.
They have Stetson Bennett.
Yep.
In LA there. All right. So
now
Bo
we are at the
Nix.
race.
So now does Penix come off?
Penix is the person here.
Yeah. I'll be rooting for that kid, bro.
He's one of those players you want to see do well. Now this is a really tricky one.
To me, it's offensive line all the way.
I don't know how it wouldn't be because Ramchick is how old now?
I think this is Phil's guy going.
Olu Fashanu would totally go here.
That's a great call. Olu would be a good that'd be a good call right there.
They get their Teron Armstead back type.
This
Now,
has got to be a wide out to me because they want to build around Richardson.
So by the way, so do you think it's going to be a Brian Thomas, or do you think it's going to be could be a corner too? But they want to give Richardson a weapon.
That's my belief right now, right? And that's why they were interested in moving up with the Bears at 9.
I could see them taking AD Mitchell. They like this type of.
There's a lot of smoke around him. That's not
about
great.
What? About his personality?
That he's
or
got
off
a
the
Jay
field?
Cutler like
then.
issue with the it's diabetes, right?
Oh, then I'm fine with that. If he's
but he doesn't.
Don't
He
give
doesn't
a
really.
fuck.
He doesn't really manage it like very well, and so wasn't that the report, Shane? Like if he doesn't necessarily take his injections, and so his blood sugars. He's a dick and horrible to be around, and when he's okay, he's fun loving, but he doesn't do any of the things to take care of himself.
Yep. So
wouldn't that be like priority in the contract? Like you
I
have
mean, if they put in
Well,
Kyler Murray's, you have to play
can't
less
be with
time
him
on Call of Duty.
24/7 either. You know what I mean? It's at some point you have to be an adult. And I mean, this is a guy that's got a young daughter also, and you gotta clean that shit up. But so do you
Yeah.
think that drives them to go to Brian Thomas?
No, I think they would go for 80. I think
Okay.
Irsay would just do a line on screen and draft 80. Call it a day.
All right, Seattle.
So Seattle did Cross and Abraham Lucas. Their line is better. They're set at the wide receiver position. This would have to be defensive line, don't you think?
I
for them?
think Latu would be the
That
pick.
would be a good move for them because they love their situational rushers. McDonald would love them.
Could it be him inside? Dallas
I mean,
Turner.
he could play
Dallas
left
Turner's
back.
still out there, by the way.
Yeah, but I think they'd
Huh.
want more of that pure pass rusher.
Jared Verse. He's got that Michael Bennett type of hands and strength at the edge. But it is a new
I knew
defensive
that's a-
coordinator over there. What's his name? He's the head coach. McDonald. He comes from that Ravens hardball thinking. So
Tomlinson and Bradford are their guards. So you could definitely see Fatanu sliding in at right guard.
And it's
them.
not like they
What
wouldn't
about
know
the-
everything about
what
him.
about
He's
the
right
other
there.
dude?
Fuaga?
Oregon State kid, Fuaga, playing guard for them. He seems like more the guard. I think Fatanu plays left tackle, man. He's got amazing feet.
It's but they're not going to move on from Cross. So they're
Right. So I would pick the kid from Oregon State for Seattle if you're going offense. Defense,
remember they're going to be in a 3-4, and that's again where I think Latu is a better fit than Dallas Turner as a pure
yep.
3-4 outside backer.
they're moving to the 3-4 defense there.
Yeah.
Dallas Turner then would be the defensive pick for sure.
Well, I think Latu is a really good kind of situational pass rusher there, but either way, this will be my first curveball, Shane. I think this would be Latu here.
Okay.
There you go.
All right.
Latu. That's a great pick
This
for
can be
Seattle.
corner. This could be Brian Thomas.
So can we do this as a trade? Because I think this is going to end up in San Francisco for Ayuk.
Really?
Yeah.
He's making a call here. And San Francisco is going to come up and take Dallas Turner. Is that what you think?
Ooh, I think Ayuk wants out, right? He's been wanting out and hitting at it for years. I think they don't want to pay him, so I think they would come in and make that move.
That's a good trade for Jacksonville, getting that kind of football player for Trevor Lawrence. What is the return here?
I think
they give up their first.
I think it would just be a 17 straight up just for Ayuk.
Straight up Ayuk.
Kind of like AJ Brown.
Brown,
AJ Brown in Philadelphia.
I like it.
Why is it not letting me force this trade? Do you have to give up a pick on top of it?
Put that pick and see if that allows it.
No, it does not.
All right, fine. We'll just draft it then. It's fine.
They won't let it.
There, now we can
try it again. There you go.
All
I
right.
like this. I like that we could do that.
All right.
So
One
here-
thing PFF did.
Here, Phil, I would think that Fuaga to play at guard would be
Really?
the spot. You look at their internal line, it's Aaron Banks, it's John Feliciano. Where did they get destroyed by Chris Jones?
That's true.
Up the middle.
Feliciano was very.
Are you going Fuaga?
I would go Fuaga at
Yep.
guard.
Yep, Fuaga at guard here is the move. Yep.
There you go. I know the two Samoans get confusing.
Cars.
The Bengals, your second favorite team.
This is a tough one. I think you got to look at edge, especially with the Trey Hendrickson thing here.
You got Verse and Turner both on the clock still.
I mean, I think that this would be
they trade Hendrickson and then they take one of those pass rushers.
Yeah, if that were me, it would be Dallas Turner here. He makes the most amount of sense.
The LA Rams.
Ooh. They're going to they got a lot of needs now, don't they? I mean, they could luck out because Mitchell, I think, does make a lot of
Mitchell,
sense.
yeah.
Yeah, makes a ton of sense here. So let's put Mitchell here as that pick.
I like that pick.
So you going Quinyon Mitchell to the Rams?
Yep.
19.
Who took over at defensive coordinator there? I missed that hire. Is it Staley from the Chargers? Did he go over there and then now he's at the D?
I think so, right? Isn't that where he went?
I'm looking. Chris Shula is the defensive coordinator.
The youngest Shula. I think he's there with them.
Staley isn't on the coach. No, he is somewhere. No, he's in San Francisco is where Staley
is. He?
Yeah.
He went San Fran.
So I've heard a lot of smoke about Barton here.
Yeah, it's a massive need for them. Massive. Their offensive line was garbage.
So you're pulling the trigger on it?
Yeah.
Graham Barton is a baller.
Boy, Miami probably would they? Oof.
Miami might take a defensive tackle.
Or would they pass on Verse? Here.
Well, they lost what's his name to the Vegas defensive tackle.
Fatanu here makes sense because Armstead did not stay healthy. And if you want to give Tua a chance,
that would be a good pick.
You've got to do that. So I would look at, Fatanu here.
All right. The Philadelphia Eagles. Everybody keeps on putting, I know Daniel Jeremiah did. Obviously, I have a connection to this fucking dirt ass team, but how he's never drafted a corner in round 1 ever. If this scenario unfolded, he collects offensive tackles and defensive linemen. I think he would sprint to the podium for Jared Verse.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Bryce Huff is a nice player, but he's not an every down player. Your other end at this point is
Vic.
Williams.
This is with Vic, by the way. He's the new DC there. Vic
so
Fangio.
Jared Verse would start over Huff because Huff is just a situational pass rusher. So yeah, Jared Verse.
So this to me they would be choosing between Amarius Mims and Jared Verse.
I think it would be Verse because that defensive line just got destroyed last year.
Verse, I love, obviously.
Wow, the Chargers can really add to this offensive line if they want to, or Brian Thomas is still there.
So they've already done Latham right so for right tackle. They don't really have anybody internal on that defensive line, right? Because I'm looking at that. Hold on, give me 1 second. Let me pull this up.
What do you want to look at? I can put it up here.
No, the defensive line. Because if you look at outside of Bosa and Mack, your defensive lines are Puna Ford, Otito Bonilla, and Morgan Fox. And we know that both sides of the ball, Harbaugh loves those trenches, right? So I think this would be alignment. It's a 3-4. That's not going to be a Newton. So who else is there? And
the kid from Michigan, Chris Jenkins.
Jenkins is there.
You can't go.
I know. I'm just saying. Brandon Fisk. So he's, the PFF rankings though doesn't really
because they've got.
Oh no, I know, but
they've got Zion and Sawyer at the guard position, and I feel like that's okay.
Yep.
So then maybe you take a swing here at Thomas.
Who do they have?
Yeah, who do they have?
Tyler
at
Johnson and
Rick?
Joshua Palmer, and
What about Lad McConkey, my guy? I could see Coach Harbaugh liking his,
because he's a perfectly all-around type of player.
Right.
I could see that as well. But I just look at this. Thomas has some concerns, but there's only a few routes that he can run. But it just so happens that the two routes that he runs also are the two best balls that Herbert throws. So I would say in this position, I would look at Brian Thomas because I can't see anybody else.
Would they
there.
be let me throw this in there. Would they be a trade down candidate again with a team like Buffalo that is in the wide receiver market and sees Thomas? It's not a huge, what are you talking, from 28 to 22?
They could be, but I have no idea what Buffalo is thinking because they've had one of the strangest off seasons that you can imagine. And with McDermott there, I'm fully guaranteed because of all those releases on defense that they're going defense at that.
I'll throw this out here too, and people are probably going to call me crazy. I know Phil won't because we're both very high on this. Would Sandrill, I always fuck up his last name, Sandrill, be in play here almost as a captain on the defense?
They need something because who's left? Like Von Miller.
I could see that pick, bro. That's actually
that's a really good call.
Terrion Arnold's out there, Cooper DeJean, but I'm Phil and I are he's my
number 2 corner.
I have him in number 2 also, just because of what he's not a safety. He's going to be a nick only for me playing inside, but this guy is Mike fucking Brown. He's always around the ball. Harbaugh is going to love these Michigan guys. I just wonder if that could be there's always surprises.
No, and again, if you look at what Chargers in their depth chart, right? It's not a great looking group. It's Asante Samuel Jr., it's Christian Fulton, it's Jasir Taylor. I love Derwin James would have had a great career if he could stay healthy. That would be a big time move. So I could I could also see them doing Cooper there because you've got Derwin who can't stay healthy and Aloha Gilman as the other safeties.
Yeah.
So,
or again, if they're looking at Sandrill, could that be like I said, I mentioned Buffalo or this KC one? They probably wouldn't make a trade with KC.
Remember though, this is the point where the draft always goes wonky, right? Where there's a guy who should go 40 that they pop in here because they want that 5th year of control. So
they took JC Latham. Great.
Yeah, to do Sanders still. I think there's a good, if this were to happen, that's a good place for that kind of change to happen. Remember what was all those years ago when they had that run on tackles and Titus Howard went way high and
Titus Howard
and Dillard went like a pick later simply because there was a run on tackle. So yeah, Sanders still, let's do it.
I like the Samerstill pick. It totally.
That's why I'm here.
Totally fits that pick and that coach.
Dallas is sprinting to the fucking podium to take Amarius Mims here, by the way.
Oh, without a question. Because their line is such garbage right now.
And he fits. He's a fucking monster. That's got Dallas written all over him.
He is.
Green Bay. I can see.
I see the Cooper DeJean.
Yep.
That's Daniel Jeremiah had him there too.
I see Cooper DeJean there. I love Cooper, but I fucking hate that he goes there. But
I mean, God.
Tampa Bay, you got to look at Johnny Newton.
I think they've got to look at.
They need a corner too, right? Didn't they trade?
They traded one of the two.
They traded the kid. What's his name?
Dean is there, so they did the other guy.
Traded Carlton Davis, right?
Carlton
Davis to the Vikings. Is that where he went?
Might have been.
Yeah. So if you look at look at their line, right, which fell apart. Hainsey at center and Sua Opeta is at guard. So this could be a place, and I know he's not on everybody's board because of his weirdness. It could be a Jackson Howard.
Put that comment back up, Phil, about
this is
Herbert trade, so I can
Herbert
shoot it out of the fucking
goes
sky.
to the Vikings, and McCarthy is a Charger. Just watch.
he saw that on Twitter today, and let me just read this to everybody.
Well, it's the simplest thing ever. They would have bought the largest dead cap hit of all time.
If the LA Chargers traded Herbert pre-June 1st, which under this circumstance would have to take place since the draft is tomorrow, this is what would happen. They would assume $108,502,000 in dead cap. $108 million in dead cap. And on top of that, they would lose almost $90 million in cap space to trade their franchise quarterback. Yeah.
It's actually worse than that. I don't. The numbers I have in year one, his dead cap is 130. Yeah. In year two, it's still 110.
Well, what
at the top of your fucking class?
This was my tweet from back in December when who were the two late night guys from ESPN 1000? They were proposing the Bears trade number 1 and number 9 to the Chargers.
Tweedledee and Tweedledum.
Yeah, Abdallah and Black. And I had tweeted them this, but this was back in like December, whenever it was. But yeah, it's
a move that can't happen.
Yeah.
The reason he hypes JJ so much, Albert Breer had a good thing, is he basically said to Jim, quarterbacks are like his children, so he hypes up all his kids. So that makes the most amount of sense.
I got it up.
Oh boy. Here, Shane, in a weird way, I have JPJ for them because the interior of the line, if you want to give Baker Mayfield a shot, and they were destroyed internally in their playoff game, so that's a big need. Here I would have
the redhead dude.
Yeah, will they double down on wideouts for Kyler Murray and go Brian Thomas?
No, I think this would be a position with the defensive head coach that Newton would make a lot of sense here as part of a rotation on that line. And that's a good value at that point.
And who are there? Just real quick, not that I'm not saying that it's not good value. Who's their corners?
Ooh,
there's Barron. I mean, I'm not saying the name Barron.
Darling Thomas, Sean Murphy Bunting, and
he's
Garrett
pretty good.
Williams.
Murphy Bunting's pretty good football player.
Yeah.
What was the other one? The third.
Bypass Wiggins.
Garrett
and
Williams,
Arnold,
the kid from Syracuse that they drafted last year, and then
Shane
Darling Thomas the fifth.
Yeah, that would be a need.
Massive need. But
Kerryon Arnold would be too. And you look at, I forget too, they're a 3-4, so that would take out Newton for that. So yeah, Arnold is there.
Arnold over Wiggins, right?
Yep.
All right, so Buffalo. This is your sprint to the podium, right?
Yep.
For Brian Thomas.
This is Brian Thomas's spot or Xavier Worthy. They like that speed.
Oh, man,
no, I think
big body.
You can't have that little body in Buff. Just can't.
What happened to the kid we love, Shane? Where did he sign?
Who?
That used to be with the Bills. The fast kid.
Gabe Davis?
No, not Gabe.
What are you talking about? Way back in the day?
Isaiah
McKenzie, yes. Where's he playing now?
Is he in KC?
Is he?
Giants.
The Giants.
With the Giants. Oh, with the connection.
Gable.
Yeah, with Gable.
So Brian Thomas is the pick?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's actually a great pick.
For
what he does with Josh Allen.
Here's your Johnny Newton, right?
Yep. They need all the help they can get there.
Trying to look and see who else maybe they would take.
Adisa Isaac.
Do they have any needs on the offensive line that they could?
They have one of the best lines in the league.
Oh, no, I know, but
No, because I think because they just picked up Zietler this offseason at guard as well, so they're good.
Baltimore.
Ooh.
They love their Alabama guys, but
They've what? They put Fieli last year at right tackle.
they'd draft Chop here, right?
I could see Chop, and I could see Tyler Guyton here.
I would think that they would put Chop up because right now you're
Keon Coleman could be a surprise pick for them here.
Well, I look at
That
it.
big
you got
catch radius guy.
Yeah, but you got Van Noy and Owa are now your outside rushers with Ojabo and a bunch of other no names. So you want someone. They always put a premium on outside rushers, and so Chop would probably be a guy for them right here.
There you go. I agree over Adisa Isaac because of what that defense is.
Yeah, but Isaac to me is more of a 4-3 instead
Yes.
of a 3-4 guy.
Correct.
49ers again.
49ers.
Jeez.
Lad McConkey.
That could be, especially if you're
Shane.
moving on
Yeah,
from
here.
Ayuk.
Bro, that would be a fucking giant fit for them in their offense.
It would be that or a corner, right? Because your corners outside of Ward are Isaac
That's-
Edom and a guy
They got two
Lenore.
corners sitting there, right there.
I could see this being a Nate Wiggins spot.
Do you want to look at any other position?
I'd like to see
Well, they traded Ayuk.
what do they got at tackle? What's left at offensive tackle?
AJ Guyton.
They got Guyton
Jordan
and you got
Morgan.
Morgan. Those are the two high ranked.
Because your right tackle right now is Colton McKivitz, who is not really good in the playoffs.
Christian Haynes playing inside for them.
You know what? So it's going to come down to Wiggins or probably Guyton for me. And I think if you're going to make the effort with Brock Purdy right now,
Guyton, you're right. That's
Guyton.
It makes sense. Or it's going to be Guyton or I'm not as high on Morgan for whatever reason, but
I'm not really a fan of him at all. I don't know what it is about his play, but there's something that I just doesn't sit with me.
Tyler Guyton is my offensive tackle number 5 in my list.
You get here and now you're the Kansas City Chiefs.
Well, they traded a corner, don't forget. But they do need
McConkey here would be the pick, especially with Rice's issues. That is a great fit for them. He's a really good route runner. He'd be a really good like you talk about chess pieces, the way you could use Ladd and his different ability. Ladd it would easily be the pick.
But he was listed with 2 medical red flags by Breer, and it wasn't they weren't dismissed. So I think you have to take that into consideration also.
You do, but if you're Kansas City and the talent that you have, and you're
Scottish Bears reading my brain. Yeah. That's exactly what
I Lad McConkey.
Yeah, if you're them and you're a Super Bowl contender every year, that you just make it.
So there it is. Cars
there it is.
Round 1 mock draft.
Cars got us Caleb Williams and Malik Neighbors to the your Chicago Bears.
Tomorrow night at this time, if we come away with that, Cherie's probably going crazy.
She's streaking in the quad.
Yeah,
Cherie would probably be on a double date after that draft.
She'd be like, fuck it, we're going to the strip club.
No, I'm going to the softball field by the lake.
Yeah, I'm gonna be at Sugar Shack for the next 4 hours if anybody's looking for me. Just
crumble cookie would be available.
Oh, that
for
sounds
me.
so good right now, though.
Imagine that. There she is. Bring her out here. There she is.
She's gonna just roll her eyes on us and then look at us disappointed and then jump off screen again if I
Take the
know her like
comment
I do.
off. Check your DM real quick.
Okay.
That's what he said.
People
Hi,
usually
Shree.
people usually
Hi.
fail when they try to send me funny stuff, Phil. Right? The track record here.
Usually. What's up, Sheree?
Hi. Shane knows that I hate him.
Yeah, she does.
It's not without merit. Like there's
What did he do?
What hasn't he done?
What does Shane always do? Insomnia cookies is crack. I love insomnia.
Oh,
I've not had that. Is that good?
Yes.
Is that like the ice cream one? Is that
No, that I think you're thinking of crumble cookie.
okay?
Insomnia cookie is just basic cookies, but they're so good. They're fresh. They're soft.
My daughter is always bringing these things home. Insomnia cookies. So I've never down in New Haven they have that, and then they have this other place. The crumble one too.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of crumble because they do like the special cookies with all weird toppings. I'm just give me a basic like peanut butter or snickerdoodle.
Once they got rid of that sugar cookie, I was
Thank
out. The
I got a
standard sugar
snickerdoodle for
cookie,
you,
I
Sheree. All right, so real quick, we're gonna wrap up here, but we're gonna take a couple of minutes to do something that we have not done in a very, very, very long time, and all four of us have to participate. And it's
Really, man,
gonna be this right here.
I mean, if I'm going to root for a team, I want to give it all I
Next
got.
play. Pass. 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 Pass.
There was no
You
rhyme or
just
reason.
drove down the field. Mr. Montgomery breaks a huge run. If he scores on the run, you don't got to worry. But you do got to worry because he gets tackled at the freaking 15.
There was no rhyme or
Next play.
Bold predictions.
Yes. Bold predictions. Let's bring
Sheree
us.
is scrambling. I saw her praying to all of the softball fields in Chicago currently.
You better pray to the God of softball fields that this wind doesn't pick up.
Because I was completely confused about the whole Chicago's a softball town. The Cars cleared it up who it's for, so that makes sense.
Oh,
DeBryce said, I got your DM and I am not sharing it. I'm not even going down that fucking vortex, man. I appreciate it, but yeah, I'm not
that bad, Shane.
No, it's fine. It's just, I'm not going down that vortex. But anyways, let's
Jaden Daniel at
kick
one.
this off. All right, Sheree, we'll start with pick number 1.
I'm helping her out.
Who's it going to be?
Subliminal
Easy.
message.
I thought we were doing a bold prediction.
Not doing bold. We're going to do number 1 and number 9, what we think is going to happen.
Oh, number 9. I have no idea. I don't care what they do.
Well, that's why we're starting off with number 1 there, girly.
Number 1 is definitely going to be Caleb.
Cars, pick one. Caleb. I'm going Caleb. Phil?
Caleb Williams.
All right, so that is settled. So that brings us back to the lady of the hour.
Then let me do what I hired to do.
The snickerdoodle maven herself. 3.
I love all.
What do you think is going to happen? Do you think that the Bears are going to try to trade up? Do you think they're going to fall back a bit? Maybe you can even give me a name. And if you need a little bit of help, I can even throw this up here for you. There's a whole bunch of probably big snickerdoodles on that list, but I'll let you find that out because I don't really have any interest. But anyways, number 9.
Number 9, I'm going to say they stay and go with Roma Dunze.
There you go, Sheree. Look at you. I'm proud of you.
Cars.
I did it in the mock, I do think because of some of the off-field and attitude things that we end up with Malik Neighbors at number 9.
Wow.
Yeah.
Just like his draft. Just like his draft.
I am going to maintain what I think they're going to do. I think you're going to see a small little trade back to maybe
really
11 or
you
12.
are the new Braggs.
Yep.
Oh,
No, I think the point that I brought up, I
I'm
think
not smart.
I think they have intentions of accumulating and then moving up. Their move up is going to be from 3 into the second round. So they're going to accumulate some assets to try to go up. And he may not be there the way that things are trending.
So
as they're
you're
saying,
trading down from 9.
so I think that they could go back to
second round pick.
No, I don't think that they could get back they can get like a third or a fourth.
And they take the 2/3 to go into the second.
They would take if they got a third, they would have the 2/3 that could go up. Or
Man, you got a
2
bold
4s and a
prediction
3.
here.
Yeah, and then they would draft offensive tackle J.C. Latham.
At what?
Where if they went back to like 11 or 12.
Okay. JC,
right in that range.
JC Latham, man.
Just that's my gut. Yeah, he's my
gut.
number 2 offensive tackle. That's my gut, and I'm probably going to be 100% wrong. But I put that prediction out there. I'm just not going to waver from it. So
Hold on, we got a prediction from other micro podcasts. Bears trade out of 1 for 12 picks. Get the haul. Got it all figured out.
Perfect.
We're gonna end up with every pick in the 7th round. That's what's gonna happen. It's gonna be incredible.
I obviously Caleb Williams at 1, as we said. Number 9, Brock Bowers, Chicago Bears. The two unicorns.
David, I
will
didn't
lose my
criticize
mind.
you at all. What are you talking? You're a shitty commenter. How about that? Jesus Christ. The fuck. I literally said that I was gonna. I literally said that on my prediction the other night that I was.
You criticized him.
That's what I'm saying.
He didn't even put the Y in your name, bro.
Yeah, learn how to spell Dave with a J.
Yes.
Scottish Bears up early.
He is up early. I don't know if he can sleep here on Christmas. Grown man Christmas Eve.
I'm not gonna have any problem sleeping a little bit, so
I'm gonna be dreaming though of Caleb Williams. We got to talk with Cars about.
Are you gonna give us your prediction in number 9, or are you just gonna pretend
Brock
Bowers.
You think
Come
it's
on,
gonna
bro.
do that? Oh, I was yelling at David with a J.
What a surprise! You got distracted.
David. Brock Bowers for the Bears from me. Ryan Cox, put that $25. Actually, I'm gonna have Jim Larison. He's in the.
God, just fucking download FanDuel.
I don't do that shit. I don't want to be even tempted by gambling.
No, all you have to do is just use your mother-in-law. Anyway, sorry. Anyway,
Jim, bet the $25 that Bowers will be the pick. Bet 25, you win $325. Whatever.
Larison's never made a $25 bet in his life. You
It's
better
like
add a couple
25.
zeros. You better add a couple zeros.
2,500.
Larison's like, yeah, won 40 grand last night.
Remember my first mock.
Virginia Commonwealth beat Marathon Oil in Division II basketball. Larison brought home 40K.
My first mock, Cars. Shane put me right on the spot, and we were like the first one. I took Caleb Williams and Brock Bowers. I'm staying with that, bro.
Stay strong.
I'm staying strong with that.
Cars, I don't know. Did you get to see any of Fight Night last night? Poor Phil.
No.
He said to me, he goes, a few days before, you know me. I'm not going to say that. I'm just going to play dumb. But, I'm very calculated like that. So Phil's like, yeah, I know you had the number 1 pick last year. So that's, at least I know I got that.
At least I got Caleb Williams.
I'm like, oh, you got it? And yep, it's all me this year. You had it last year. So Shane went to the tape, cars because it never lies. So I brought up the show from last year, and this motherfucker goes, well, I got the number 1 pick, so I'm taking the best player available in the draft. Will Anderson's coming over to play for the Deer Ticks, number 1. So all I did, I sent my boy a text message. I'm like, hey, Phil, guess what? You had number 1 last year. And all I got back was, oh, fuck. And I wrote back to him, enjoy JJ. That's all I said to him.
Oh, look at Jim Larison. He did it for me, but he put $100 wager on it.
Nice.
Oh boy.
The win, if he is taken, can I share what the winning will be? Of course. Jim don't fucking care. He loves Howard Stern. It's a plus 2,200. If $100 and he is the 9th pick, it's $2,300 winner.
Nice.
Right there, bro.
Not a bad day.
A new car.
Fucking real estate in Florida. No.
Oh my God. We got super chat. Our guy HL Priest. I'm going to answer his earlier question too. Would any of you trade $5? Thank you, HL. Would any of you trade 2025 draft capital to get a D lineman Flus covets? It's a good question.
Yeah. There's a lot of people that are super low, and again, people are gonna think I'm a homer.
Raswell.
Yeah, but I was listening to guys the other day that had him in the 5th round, and I'm like, what the hell?
5th round.
Yeah, but Marshawn Nealon, Jonah Ellis is another guy that's a fun watch. Chris Braswell. The Bears have to get an edge somehow,
dude.
They will.
I could
Trey
see them.
Hendrickson. You can.
That would be a good trade, bro.
Then you got to pay. He's going to be 30 years old. You want to give? Are you giving him $20 million? I mean, I guess that's why. You make you clear the deck with the rookie quarterback for moves like that.
He doesn't fit Eberflus's length, but Mohammed Kamara from Colorado State is a wildebeest pass rusher. He has a lot I like on tape, but what is his size measure? 6'1"?
6 foot.
That's what he measured at the combine, 6 foot.
Yeah.
Listen, Dwight Freeney was 5'11" playing in
dream.
Huh?
It's your dream.
What?
6 foot.
6 foot, 7 foot, 8 foot, but yes, you got me again, you fuck.
Someday, coach.
I will never be 6 foot.
Fucking Rashad Salam fucked me over again, Phil.
Speaking of HL Priest, he asked me, you guys have been fucking outstanding. Donating to, and I want to shout Shane for continue to push this, as well as Jim Larison for setting up the website to make it so much easier. It's give.thetapeneverlies.com. I'm just saying we are $22 away from getting to $12,000.
Jackal just out there taking the
That's
donations
one of my
and making math.
favorite drops ever.
Someone send the $22 to push us over $12,000, cars.
Oh, you got a little update, Phil. You might want to check your text message for Mr. Larison because
I didn't see it. Larison is like the king. He is Santa. He is Santa Claus. What did he say? I didn't see the update.
He
I hope it hits. If it hits, he's going to donate the $2,300 to the Wolverines.
Phil's like, it was
Brock
my
Bowers.
dad. I'm a Wolverine, Jim.
No, that is amazing. That would be awesome. But yes, HL wanted to know, we're going all the way to April 30th will be the last day to donate. Help us hit our goal. Every dollar counts. We are literally at $11,988.37. Cherie, I thank you for donating. Your mom, all of you fans, even today, Big David Smith. I sent you that picture, Shane. I don't know if we could put him up. We got to put his picture up, right? Remember David Smith, Cherie, with him and his wife? He's a truck driver.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Like Mo.
Yeah.
You
And he
get it
fucking
loaded up, and I'll play one of the. I know Cars is gonna love this clip.
Oh, you gotta.
Oh my God, Greg, droning on and on. Shut the fuck up, dude.
One of my other most favorite trap. The crystal meth one is so hard to beat, but
that's gotta be my favorite. Jim with the music in the background and his voice. No matter what.
Fuck up. It's perfect. It's perfect.
Oh, Greg.
Oh my God, Greg! Shut the fuck up. Droning on and on. Shut the fuck. I'm getting tired. You can tell. Well,
Oh, every time I take it from a chat, Cars, it makes it a HEIC file.
Yep.
Why is that?
Cars knows how to fix that.
How do you fix that?
You have to set your camera settings in your Apple, and you want to choose. I'm trying to remember here.
So he sends it in a text.
Yeah, because it saves it. So you have to take what you want to do is you take a screenshot of it, but you want to go to your settings and go to camera and choose most compatible.
Look at you.
Look at this fucking guy. See, Cherie, I told you he wasn't a dumbass.
He teaches you shit you need in your life, man.
You know, Cherie, it's bad enough that you got Maisie swearing, and
Sure.
now you're talking smack about me behind my
and
back.
my
Like, I don't know
daughter.
what's going on?
My daughter swore live on air because of Cherie. Wanted to call you an asshole, and then I got in all sorts of trouble from it.
Did you?
Oh fuck yes!
Oh my
Two different
God.
languages. But yeah,
How
I have
dare
so much-
you?
I have so much to say, but I'm going to bite my tongue right now. We're just going to leave that be.
Say she ain't at a baseball game. I'm tired. I'm just gonna end up getting in trouble. But anyways,
Well,
yeah.
let me
You
put
can get
it
in
up.
trouble. I will not.
My
By the
God.
way, Bill, you are off the Cars nerd bandwagon. I've enjoyed your time, but
Oh
if
my
you're
God.
rocking a Samsung Galaxy, I'm out.
Where did Cherie go? There he is. Dave
There he is.
Smith smoking a stogie, look at that orange on that TTNL hoodie, bro. On that sweatshirt. You like that, Cherie?
So I switch that to most compatible, and that'll take care of that issue.
Usually, it will stop saving things in HEIC format.
Fucking awesome, man. Do you know how many pictures that I've for TTNL that I've had to fucking double click on and then format?
Screenshot it.
Yeah, so if
that's the
you
workaround.
have it in if you have it in the high efficiency, you'll use the HEIC stuff. But if you use it compatible, put it in a JPEG.
So you click on the camera in settings.
No, you go to settings, camera, and then where it says formats at the bottom or in the middle, click on formats. By default, it'll choose high efficiency. Just change that to most compatible.
Nerd alert! There you go. He's helping Apple users around the world.
We can Geek Squad it up later.
Geek Squad tip.
Logan, if your Drake May take wasn't god awful, this would even be worse.
Let's be honest, Logan's probably fucked a few apples in his day.
Put a hole in that apple. Let me see if I fit.
Oh my lord.
Log.
Phil, could you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, Dad, and that means it's
space.
time. It's in time. He's in space. Coach O's gonna make an appearance tomorrow night.
Carlos the barber.
Shout out to his barber.
Carlos.
Shout out to my barber Carlos for telling me about this show 2 years ago. Everyone become a patron. Highly recommended. Thank you, Manuel. I always like the name Manuel.
Yeah.
It just flows, Cars. Why couldn't your name be Manuel? Manuel Carstensen.
I mean, it was nearly Hans, but that would have been a lot cooler. So
yeah, it's true. I fucking forgot about that. Oh my god.
The greatest thing when I got adopted, my mom was like, "Oh, he's part Swedish, so we should give him a Swedish name like Hans." And my dad was like, "Absolutely fucking not." So he's been a real one since day one.
There you go. Shout out to Dad.
Exactly.
Shout out to Dad. Listen, we've done it all. We've said it all. We drafted. We talked about the stadium. Cars gave us some great answers. Jim Larison is going to make an appearance on our draft coverage as well. We'll have some questions for him. If Brock Bowers goes at 9-20.
Logan's apple. Fuck.
We'll just say we ate the apple.
Logan likes fucking the British office. That was the first red flag.
Yeah.
Oh Lord.
Then he goes to Drake May is the best quarterback in this fucking draft. We haven't seen Cameron Beige since he said Jaden Daniels is more pro ready than Caleb Williams. Where did he go, Logan? Where did Beige go?
He's at the TTNL Washington Commanders show.
No, he's escaping from the pocket just like Jaden Daniels does every time there's an open receiver, but there's a little bit of pressure. He runs like hell.
I miss that dude. But anyway, we have fun. Shout out to all of you though, seriously, for really going out of your way to donate to a special cause for these kids. Shout out to all of you that promote TTNL. I saw, Manuel telling his story, letting other people know. Smash the like button. Let other people know about the network. In the fall, you're gonna continue to have Cars Keys. We got the Bear Down with Big Steve on Monday nights. The Super 16 poll show with Chris Zorich on Monday nights. Ivan will be afternoons on TTNL with another Bears show. So the lineups are growing. The energy is growing. Obviously, me and Shane, the patron, the tape breakdowns, Coach O, all of it that you saw in the promo and much, much more. Tomorrow night, though, is Grown Man Christmas, finally. And we are going to celebrate in unison. You TTNL fans that have stuck by us, that have stood up for us and recognized that we fought for the truth against all the fucking roaches, moonwalkers, haters, grifters, whatever you call them. They're going to try to flip-flop like most of them are trying to do now. And don't let it happen. I won't let it go. I'm going to call you out. Don't try. Own your shit. That's how I respect you. Own your shit. I was fucking completely wrong, bro. I was wrong. Yeah, that's how you do it. Don't try to flip-flop and try to schmooze like you didn't fucking do it. You buried Caleb Williams. You pumped up an average quarterback as if he was. And now we're on the precipice of celebration. And
all I want to say is,
yes,
after tomorrow,
yes,
we never talk about him again.
Yeah.
You got it, bro.
I'm done talking about him now, Hans.
Listen here, Dipwad. I'm sorry. I thought that was what your parents nearly named you, was Dipwad. So my apologies.
Well, talk to Hoodie. He will tell you Shane's just a dick. That's what he is.
That's how one of the dads in the neighborhood has described me. He's like, "You're a dick. You're funny, but you're a dick." So you know what? I'll take it.
I knew you would say that. You know what?
I'll take that compliment.
That's
did you guys
fair.
see? Did you guys even see your names that were changed 10 minutes ago?
No, I saw it. Yeah,
Manuel and Hans.
It works.
I never see that.
It works.
It works. I'm going to be Manuel for the evening. Goodbye, farewell. Manuel is where we get you, whatever. Anyway, it's late. We're tired. We're going off the rails.
Oh, Actually, we have some legitimate breaking news.
Oh my God.
Shit.
Breaking news. The tape never lies. Network breaking.